Welcome to Eagles Kickoff Live. I am Gail Saunders, aka Eagle Sessions, here with Hollywood Hearn. And Hearn, are you woken up?
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up out of your sleep, wake up out of your sleep.
Because I mean, you know the vibes right now. I mean, we're 1-3-1, ain't having no fun, but we're going into this game just hoping for the best. We have a shot. The world is against us. Everybody's picking against us. We woke up when we started pre-gaming. You asked me what the vibe was. I'm feeling a certain way. And normally before games, I don't feel. I feel.
You're not giving it away right now. Which way are you feeling?
I don't know. Maybe I'll save it for the rest of the show. But how are you feeling this morning? I'll set you up. I'll sweep the leg.
Well, I woke up this morning feeling pretty chipper. I'm not gonna lie. I thought, every year it seems like the Eagles can sneak one really good team. Then I really started to just look at what the Ravens have been doing so far this year, and I started to lose my confidence a little bit. It seems like the Ravens just tend to not only beat bad teams, but beat up on them. They're putting up 30 a game except for one game so far this year. And quite frankly, I don't think our defense is up to the task of Lamar Jackson. I don't know if they're going to be able to contain him with our linebackers. That's a thing that certainly concerns me. What I want to see today is more progression. Like I said, though, the Eagles have been known in the past to step up on big games and come through. I mean, I think of the Green Bay game of last year. I think, it seems like there's one every year that we end up getting out of the Birds. So I'm not feeling exactly confident, but at the same time, I'm saying anything could happen. Where are you at?
All right, but I'm feeling like I said during the our last podcast. I said there's a good chance. We have a chance here. You're looking at how the Ravens have been playing the last couple weeks. Raven fans will tell you that they haven't seen MVP Lamar Jackson as of late. Some interesting stats here. And the last 3 weeks, Lamar Jackson is the worst in the NFL with completion percentage at 55.8, passing yards per game 157, and yards per attempt. His main targets have been this guy who we're concerned, Andrews. We're concerned with him anywhere around Nate Gary, and Marquis Hollywood will the real Hollywood stand up is the question. Hollywood Brown, and how so these are his two key weapons here. So the passing game hasn't been insane. It's been around, like I said, 157 yards a game.
Yeah, the
running game is they do a lot of two running back sets, two tight end sets. 22 personnel. They have a power running game, but this year they haven't been as powerful as they have been in the past. So, and they're still winning football games. That's the key thing. That's a good football team will find ways to win.
Marquis Brown is actually going to be inactive today because I sent out a cease and desist. There's only one Hollywood in Philadelphia, and so he's not going to be able to play today, I'm afraid.
I just want to welcome all the fans to the show in the chat. Shout out to Jeffrey. Shout out to Jason coming in from Iowa. Morning, Bags.
Good morning.
Grand Rising, fellas. Shout out to Brian. Lauren is already saying, am I crazy to think we can win this?
No.
You're not crazy. I mean,
you're not crazy.
You just have to worry about our players showing up. Good day to shock the world, boys.
People feeling nice.
Fans will be at the game. That is a key thing. That is a key.
Yes. And if you're down at the game and you have any way of capturing what's going on, if you want to, reach out and let us know what the vibes are down there, we would love to know.
I definitely need to know the vibes down at the. I'm a little jealous of that at the stadium, but I'm also very aware of family members that
you would be pork roll in hand right now.
I know, man. I would be smelling it up, man. Curry is active. Thanks for the shout out, Ishmael. Guys, if you're watching the show and you hear any things that are going on out there in Eagles land, just give us a shout out. We'll put it on there because we're all crazy Eagle fans. We want to know what's going on. But there's another
Will Parks though as well.
Yeah, Will Parks.
What are you excited for Will Parks season? I mean, we've been looking forward to this all year long. Like we knew that the linebacker situation was bad, and we knew that we'd be able to lean on Will Parks later in the season once he comes back from the IR.
I mean, that's the thing of the last show that if I was looking at any positives, one of the positives was that Will Parks will be coming back soon.
Yep,
we got him back sooner than I thought he was going to be back. I thought it would be another week. He's a guy that potentially could be on those tight ends. But if you looked at Mark Andrews' play, he's been bodying up tight ends. Up defenders. So I think this will be a tough game for Will Parks, his first game back. But I think he's up to the task. But who else is up to the task? Mr. Chris Malley joining in. Looking wide awake. How you doing, man?
I'm good, boys. Excited. For some reason, everyone, I get because the record, but I'm actually a lot more confident about this week than last week just because of all the receivers that we have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson's not really impressing anyone right now. He had a good week 1, but then since then, he hasn't been doing anything crazy. He had 3 rushing yards last week. I think he's a little more injured than people are letting on at the moment. So keys to the game that I was thinking was like Andrews, Will Parks being back. That makes me feel so much better. Right off the line, well, it pisses me off that it drove me crazy last week because when we were in our pregame show, I said Chase Claypool, and then I shouldn't have said it 3 times because that made him score more than 3 times. But you can't let these guys get free releases off the ball. As soon as Mark Andrews takes his hand off the ground, you should hit him immediately and knock him off his route. And then Park should be there, and then you should still have a safety over top. Other than Marquise Brown and Andrews, there isn't much there. Willie Snead is kind of just like a possession guy. Devin Duvernay, he's sneaky fast, the rookie from Texas, but I'm not really concerned with him. The reason why I'm really confident in this game is Brandon Williams is going to be inactive on their side. And the Ravens are night and day when Brandon Williams doesn't play. Since 2017, they let up 100 more rushing yards every game he's not in, and an extra yard per carry. Brandon Williams is their big nose tackle. So please, Doug, listen, run Miles up the middle, let them eat. I understand that they have a pretty solid defense, but in the middle is where they're vulnerable. So hopefully Zach Ertz can finally arrive at Lincoln Financial Field this season and show up, because he's going to be able to get a lot of dink and dunk yards in the middle when we're just going to need to move the chain. So hopefully Ertz and Ward have a big game, and I trust Travis Fulgham to make the plays when necessary.
Yes. Yeah.
You gotta know when to fold them, know when to fold them. I'm gonna keep on saying this throughout the show until you guys can repeat after me. You gotta know when to fold them.
You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Well, if you know when to fold the old wide receivers and roll.
All right. Okay. I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I switched that up. I've been going with.
All right. Your own version. I get it.
We can go hold them. We'll do hold them. We'll do hold them. But his performance. You mentioned Fulgham. You talk about gutsy performances from young guys who really aren't even on the radar, guys who are just looking to get an opportunity. So for him to just show up and start doing the damn thing, it's so inspirational to the rest of the group, especially the younger guys. You're looking at J-Jaw, you're looking at the rookies, Rager, Hightower, Quez Watkins. They're all seeing this guy just come at 6th-round pick.
Went from zero to hero, man.
Journeyman, just showing up. And we showed a couple videos last week of him blocking. We're just talking about him blocking. The kind of effort, play after play, whether it be high pointing the football, getting separation on his routes, being a trustworthy target for Carson Wentz. That's what you like to see. At the end of the day, you want consistency out of your weapons. And I've been talking about that for the last couple weeks. Wide receivers, whether it be Greg Ward or now Travis Fulgham, they've had a level of consistency the last couple of weeks with their play. Big play after big play, 2 games in a row for Fulgham. I'm talking, it's all started with that catch down the sidelines and him scoring a touchdown. In the 49ers game, and he comes back and does it again.
Dude, he's really a man on fire right now. He is a godsend for this offense, a godsend for Carson Wentz, especially in a year where Zach Ertz is having this weird disconnection issue with Carson. I really want to see that start to fizzle away today. As Chris said, that we can really take advantage of the middle of the field today with both the slot receivers and Zach Ertz, and so I want to see a lot of that going. I want to also, Doug, like, we're begging you, man. I don't know why we got to get on our hands and knees to beg for Miles Sanders. Like, it's inexcusable. I'm still boiling over. I don't know about you guys, but the fact that Miles Sanders pops off the run that he did last week and that we still only stick with 11 carries in the entire game. I get that, like, he wasn't popping off these long ass runs every single time. He was getting held up a little bit, but you got to give him the volume. You got to let him get going, get that momentum, build up that momentum. That's what we want to see. And so we need to see more of that today.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about on the show last week about him breaking. This is what I needed him to see was a long run, break off a run. He ends up doing the same exact, magic on Heinz Field, the field that he played on before. And that's like, you, at the end of the day, just putting the ball in your best players' hands and hope they make plays. And did they expect him to break a touchdown like that right away? Probably not. They're just running the ball, but that's what he brings to the table. We talked about the Buffalo game, him just breaking out and shutting down the whole crowd with a long touchdown run. This Ravens run D, could it be a little tougher, Chris, you think?
I mean, without our boy Williams, I don't think it's going to be as tough as I thought it was going to be. I mean, I like their linebackers a lot, but the Ravens are a little banged up too. Williams being out alone, and even if he wasn't out, I was saying, I was talking to Evan on Twitter right after the game, like, you have to run Miles. Like, everyone's screaming that.
That is correct.
Everyone's like, oh, he only had 1 yard per carry other than that run. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, the whole point is to keep the defense honest, establish play action. And if the guy, it was out of his first 4 runs, it was his 4th handoff, Miles scores an 80-yard touchdown. So it's if you think that he can pop off for another one or even anything like that, you got to do it. We weren't getting him in. It was after that run, we didn't use him again. I know Carson missed him a couple times on routes, but they were broken plays and he tried to get it out to him. I mean, just get Miles involved in general, running, passing, anything you can do. But that's how you're going to beat this team, because the outside, they're really strong. So Fulgham's going to have his hands full with the cornerbacks, but just get the ball out fast and get it to the middle of the field or just to Miles.
All right. So I want to know, just kind of out of left field right now, I want to know, we've been talking about Doug Peterson. We've been talking about this offense's lack of any sort of rhythm that they've had at all this year. What percentage, or ratio do you think is execution, and what percentage do you think is game planning for what we can place the blame on so far this season? The players' execution and the coaching game plan.
I'd say it's a little bit of both.
Like a 50-50 split?
You're looking at putting Nate Gary in a position last week. That's on you, coach. You could have called a timeout. You could have put him in I say this shit every week. Put him in a better situation to succeed. You're in charge here. So if you have Nate Gary out there, you're doing all of us a disservice at this point. We all know what he is. And we talked about on the podcast, the reality versus expectations. The reality of Eagle fans, the expectations, we have no expectations for Nate Gary. And the reality is he's been playing ass this season.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's almost in his head. I mean, for him to be on the field that many snaps, that's doing a disservice to this football team.
I can't believe you're disrespecting the White Snake like that.
And this is what angers me. It's Jim Schwartz is out there. Obviously, he's not going to throw his guy under the bus, but we're getting these vibes. I'm getting these, like, he can't just.
He's got some dirty pictures of him or something, man.
It's like when are you gonna like just let go? Let go. Take your hand off his waist. It's over. It's over. Like, bringing the young guys. We've all been asking for Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley, 4 snaps, made a couple plays on those 4 snaps down by the goal line. He might not know everything that Nate Gary knows, but does he know how to make plays and come up big when it matters most?
Yeah, for me, for the defense, it's probably 70 Schwartz being the issue, 30 the players. I mean, right now, he had a system in mind that would have Will Parks and have us be a little more healthy than we are. I'm going to give him this week against a really good team to see if Will Parks being back really does make the defense look bigger, because they said Will Parks was going to have 2 or 3 major roles in the defense, so maybe it looks a little different. But my issue, and I agree with Gail, is like, when you just look at the field, because we were all at the Seattle game last year, and you saw DK Metcalf and Marcus Epps lined up against each other, we were all in the stands like, please, because it was on game on the line. Like, and then last week, I saw Claypool with like 10 yards of cushion after 3 touchdowns on third down, and I'm like, please call a timeout, please. And then it's like that's just something you should be able to see.
It hurt, yeah.
Yeah, and then offensively, I would probably say 65 the players and then 35 Doug. Because if you go back and watch film, guys are open and Carson's missing him, but then you kind of go back and then like every play, Carson's running for his life. But now like the offensive line the last 2 weeks has kind of settled down a little bit. Obviously now we lose even more people, but I kind of like Jamon Brown. Honestly, I was kind of sick. Yeah, I was sick of watching Matt Pryor because I felt like every single play that Carson was getting hit, Matt Pryor was just like standing with his like finger in his nose at like the line of scrimmage, looking. He's like the Nate Gary of the offense, in my opinion. Like, he's always turned the wrong way and he's not doing what he's supposed to do. So when Gale was like, yeah, like maybe Sean Bradley like doesn't know everything, but he can make a play. It's like Nate Gary knows the playbook probably and still sucks. Like, yeah. I'd rather have someone that's not thinking as much and just playing. So, like, I want to see the young guys. I think Kayvon Wallace is going to be sneaky good today. Maybe have him out on the running backs. I mean, the Baltimore's kind of in disarray, too, because, like, Ingram and these guys, like, they're running 3 different running backs, and each one, like, doesn't get over, like, 40 rushing yards because they just, like, they should be giving one of those guys workhorse reps, but they're just doing, like, 5 carries here, 5 carries here, 5 carries here, and they can't get in a rhythm. And their offense has been kind of stagnant. I mean, that Kansas City game was really telling. They didn't do anything special, and they got whooped. So hopefully Doug called Andy and asked for some help before the game. But we'll see what happens today, boys.
Now, Jeremy makes a good point here. He's like, hard to execute the offense when our O-line gets more and more depleted. This is like the 5th offensive line group Carson Wentz has had over the last couple weeks. You talk about the offensive line. One guy we need to bring, shed some light on. This guy, Jordan Mailata, he might not be perfect. We don't expect him to be perfect, but what he has brought to the table is a level of stability worthy enough to get praise and worthy enough for this team to look at him and be inspired by his play. Is given Carson Wentz enough trust to protect him. He's not. I'm not going to say he's fundamentally sound yet, but from a terms of raw ability, body, feet, his hand placement can get better. Yes, but he showed out in terms of just he's learning on the fly. But you go back and watch some of his interviews. Look at the level of confidence in the way that he's speaking. Remember, he talked about switching from left to right. It was like, using toilet paper with your left hand. Like now he's like, he's talking about, the game in a more technical fashion. He's talking about Stoutland, like really just having that belief in him. And I feel like he's getting that vibe from the whole fan base and within the organization.
He's really grown a lot over this last year. In my opinion, he has earned the shrimp on the Barbie. If anyone's cooking that up, maybe Alex got that going. Alex has that going over in Colorado today. I don't know. But as far as how he's been playing, you look at someone like TJ Watt. He went up against him last week, and I have a little clip from that right here.
Without question, my favorite block from Jordan Mailata in this game was this one down on the goal line. Miles Sanders, 1-yard touchdown run. Watch him here as a puller, taking on TJ Watt, who is used often as a joker in this game, kind of moved around the formation. And Jordan Mailata is going to meet TJ Watt in the hole, get off the tracks because our runaway train is coming. Outstanding block there in the hole. Miles Sanders plunges forward for the touchdown. Best block of the day for Mailata. I thought it was a solid day of action for him overall.
So I think for like someone that was still learning the game just a year ago, for him to be not just, winning the matchup that's right in front of him, but for him to get pulled across the line, find TJ Watt and make an effective block that opens up a touchdown. He's really growing in leaps and bounds, in my opinion, this year. And it's been something that we really needed because the offensive line position is one of the many inconsistencies we have on this team. So any sort of consistent play that we can get, we will absolutely take.
Shout out to Matt, who's active in the chat today. Maniac Matt. He says, fucking beast, that guy. He gives it his all, and it's more I can say for everyone else at times. I think that resonates with the team. It resonates with the locker room. When you're a veteran, you're struggling, and you see this guy who's just still being, a ball of clay, formed into a player. It's got to be inspiring. It's got to be like, dude, like if he's doing this, like why can't I do this? Like I know everything. Is Jason Peters feeling a certain way? in the chat, how are we feeling out there about Jason Peters? If you have, Derek Gunn said he'll be back in 2 weeks. Now, where do you go? Like, where do you go?
Bro, Jason Peters is just looking at his bank account, making sure the checks are clearing. He's not worried, bro.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's a time where you're trying to as Eagle fans, I mean there's a constant reminder of like winning the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah? Like what kind of reminders are we talking about here?
I mean it's just it's a problem, because we as fans, we don't want to live in the past. And
I knew a piece went in there, dude. I knew a piece went in.
This is real. This is real. I picked this confetti off the ground at the steps.
Now it's in your coffee.
I was the grown ass man. I was like, I gotta collect this. But
I did the same thing.
We talked on our last podcast about expectations versus reality, and moving into a phase of like I'm moved on to the reality part of that. This team has took its lumps, had its share of injuries. So what are we gonna do now? We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna look at some of these young guys play and see where they go from here. Whether it be Mailata, whether it be Fulgham. Those are the kind of things I'm looking at. Like Jack Driscoll. Mm-hmm. Like Jack Driscoll was talking. He was talking about how some of the Eagles players didn't even know his name. They were calling him like.
At what point?
This week. They were calling him like Jake. And he's like, actually, it's Jack. So that's your starting right guard, dude. So I mean, they don't even know his name. Let alone fans not knowing his name. But these are the young guys that are playing around Carson Wentz. These are the young guys that we're trying to develop. So if you get to see some players right now,
I don't know why, but that story just made me nervous.
Huh?
I don't know why, but that story just made me nervous because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, if nobody knows his name, that means that he's not even like he doesn't seem like an in-your-face type of guy, which I mean, that's what you need to be as an offensive lineman. You need to be gritty, you need to be in people's faces. And if your own teammates don't even know who you are, like it sounds like you're just kind of hiding in your shell. And that's the exact opposite of what we need in a personality. We need a fierce, competitor that needs to just jump off the page, off the line.
So do we put Jason Peters at guard? Is like, excuse me, mate, move the fuck over. The real man's over here. I'm taking over your position. Fuck off, mate. I don't know, man. Shout out to Trox, wide awake in the beautiful
Cheers, fellas.
man cave.
Yeah.
Cheers.
You see my mug? I've had this mug since I was about, I don't know, 18 years old. And you know what? It's fitting every time.
Self-portrait?
Around. What? Exactly.
Self-portrait?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Grumpy. Yeah, my man. How you guys
Can
doing
we
today?
see we see that
There you go.
mug?
There you go.
Doing well.
There you go. Hot temper, baggy eyes, minor
who you
back
are?
problems, cold coffee. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's how Eminem's an Eagles fan right now. That's all I got to say about that. How you
Are
guys
you
doing
living
today?
are you still are you living in the past or you've moved on?
I'm like a defensive back. I have amnesia. I just forget things right away and I don't remember. It's just things will pop up, like one word triggers will happen, but that's about it. I don't dwell on the past. I try not to. And I don't know, fellas, this future looks pretty shitty at the moment. I'll tell you what, I hope these things aren't true about Howie. He's going to be buying. I hope he's selling, but sounds like that man's going to be buying at the trade deadline. That's what these articles are saying this morning. I hope not, brothers. I don't know what you guys already talked about or not.
Did I miss something?
Yeah,
There's a couple a couple articles out there saying that Howie's going to be he's going to be buying this trade deadline. He's not going to be selling anybody.
You know who's someone that has been on my mind this past week?
Buying?
Yeah.
So Travis Fulgham's our number one wide receiver, right? The Atlanta Falcons are 0-5 right now. They got a really good young wide receiving core, and with Calvin Ridley there, Russell Gage is really starting to pop off. What use does Julio have on that team right now? And when they're staring down the barrel of a rebuild, they just fired their head coach. They're 0-5. Could they be sellers? Julio would be some good value. Do you think Julio for like a 2 is a possibility?
That whole team's a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah. Have you seen Julio's cap hit? Dude?
I don't care.
I imagine it's insane. What, like 18 million?
Not like it's we don't have Julio money. We could make it. You'd have to.
Can we start a GoFundMe? I want Julio.
Yo, Gail, I have the Julio Jones of breakfast sandwiches right here, brother.
What's
What's that?
That's a pork roll and an English muffin, brother.
Oh God.
Oh, the Thomas English muffin is an all-time.
I see mustard, American cheese.
Looks good, man. Mary Beth made a point. She said, "I'm worried about them trading Ertz. You think they'll pay him? I think it would be a big mistake." And it's interesting. I actually was watching a Zach Ertz interview with the Beats last night, and his whole demeanor when he's talking. Zach Ertz is talking about if we're going to talk about the man, we should have his face up there.
It's only fair.
Can't talk about Ertz behind his back. Zach Ertz was talking about the whole contract situation. He said the first time that I talked to you, they were like, "Well, how are you feeling?" He's like, "Well, I only talked to you guys about it once. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. And the last time I talked to you guys about it, I said I wasn't talking about that anymore." And I moved on. And his whole vibe, his whole face changed. And he looked uncomfortable. Well, it kind of looked like he knows what that did to the fan base and what that triggered the emotions from fans. And he feels like that kind of he's not saying it, but from looking at his, it's always about emotions, man. You can read people's facial expressions.
He's a very emotional man.
Bad for doing that. That's what I took from it. He said, "I'm focused on winning football games." He said, when I broke the record for number of catches by tight end in the season, we actually lost. We didn't win a Super Bowl. When we won a Super Bowl, we were winning. I don't care about stats, but we were winning games. But when you lose football games, other things come to play. So I think if he's talking about this being his last year, then I don't know. These are the kind of pieces that get traded. But he's Carson's best friend. He's one of the number one targets in the offense.
So was Jordan Matthews.
But he
moved on.
He's not a Jordan Matthews though.
No, he's not. But I'm saying from the standpoint of he's Carson's best friend. He was Carson's top target. That so was Jordan Matthews.
So I mean, do you? I'm not down with trading Zach Ertz. Not this year.
I am.
There was a trade. Maybe this will sway you, Gail.
I mean, trade him next year, though.
ESPN put out an article. I believe the trade was Zach Ertz and a 6th rounder for Hassan Reddick and a 3rd rounder. Where do you land on that?
I don't know if they're doing that.
Need some linebacker help.
There's another way. There's another way than that way. But yeah, I'm in favor of, if you can get something good for the man, do it. If the man could block, I'd say, yeah, we got to keep him here. He's an Eagle for life. But the man can't block.
If the Eagles go on like a roll right here, like if obviously everyone's picking against us, but if they go on a roll and win the NFC East, get healthy. I mean, you all saw Brandon Brooks running around recently, jumping up on
dude, he is superhuman, dude. Can we talk about that for a moment? Because I've never seen anything like it in my life. His ability to come back from injury is second to none. I can't think of anybody who recovers as quickly as him.
Is he like Viking? Yeah,
welcome, Brendan to the.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm all right. Week 6.
Are you wide awake up in Canada?
I'm wide awake. We have the same time zone as you, all right? So,
well, I mean, are you wide awake?
Literally the same time zone. So it's not like
are you wide awake up in Canada? I'm trying to give Canada a shout out.
I like it.
Everyone knows where you're coming in. I'm trying to transition there.
Yeah, wide awake here in Toronto.
Yeah.
So you guys were talking big picture here. I like it. I want to get into that. So what's your feeling on this news that came out that the Eagles are buyers? Like what are you guys a little freaked out as I am? Like, why are we buyers at 1-3-1? This makes absolutely no sense.
I think that they're just looking at the division. I think they're looking at the landscape of the division. They're seeing that it's really realistic that they could still, regardless of our record, still win the division, especially with Dak Prescott going out last week. So I think that the division is wide open for the taking. So I think that's what they're looking at.
So are you gonna risk like younger assets to win a crappy NFC East?
I wouldn't, but at the same time, like our draft assets, what are they really worth? Because like we don't hit on the draft anyway. So if you don't have a player, then it's worth it.
But if they're buyers here, they make a move, right? This is showing the team that they believe in taking one last shot here.
Like ridiculous.
If you're in the locker room, these guys aren't tanking. These guys aren't going to give up. So this is it. This is last year of Deshawn. This is last year of Alshon. This could be the last year of BG. This could be a last year of a lot of players, right?
That one hurts me the most.
So if they're thinking a certain type of way, they're like, this might be our last chance to compete with these guys in this locker room. So if that's go with the buying mode, then I can see why, because the NFC East is the NFC least right now, and if you can get in at 6-9-1,
oh my Lord. It's just like I don't want them to give up any capital. Like, this team's old, right? And like, I don't want to go out and get older guys to help you win at 7-8-1 or 6-9-1. Like that what does that do? The Eagles won one playoff game the past 2 years, and luckily off a double doink kick. You know what I mean? Like, if you take away, like, the playoff runs are fun and all, but like, this team isn't. We're not the Seahawks. We're not the Chiefs. We're not the Ravens. We shouldn't be buying. You know, it's just. I still think they could make the playoffs with the team they have right now. They just need to kind of get some things figured out. Zach Ertz is huge. Like, he needs to get his shit figured out. Hope I can swear on this, but
let it rip.
Say whatever the fuck you want, brother.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think it's crazy that they would make trade any sort of draft capital or any sort of young asset to get someone in this room right now. I think that's nuts.
Now, Jeremy from Facebook. Shout out to Jeremy, always active in the chat. We appreciate you guys that are active in the chat. This is what it's all about. It's an open forum. You got something on your mind, let us know. You got a question, let us know. Let's see. I mean, Jeremy says, guys, who do we really have to get?
And that's another thing too. Like, who the hell's even on the roster?
We'll go around the room. One guy that you would trade from this roster.
Who's
We
starting
can start
here?
with you. We can start with you, Brendan.
I don't know. I don't know if there's anyone that a team would want. Like who if you're a contending team, let's say you're the Baltimore Ravens or Kansas City Chiefs, who would you want from the Eagles roster that realistically you could trade for? Fletcher Cox, maybe, but he's got a huge contract. And like, are you going to hold on to that later on? Zach Ertz, maybe too. He's probably the only guy I could see that might move, but I wouldn't trade him if I was the Eagles. They need him. Like if you're trying to trade him to get better, that doesn't make any sense. Like I was listening to you guys about the Hassan Reddick trade. He's been bad in Arizona. Like I don't think he's coming in and helping you out. And you're getting rid of your Carson Wentz's best weapon. I know Zach Ertz has struggled, but I still think he can get this figured out. And if you take a look at the stats, like he's still getting separation. Okay, like it's not like he's washed. I think there's a lot of factors into this, into his struggling start. But yeah, like Ertz is probably the only guy I could see that realistically other teams might want because he's on a cheaper contract. But even then, his value is not very high right now.
We have one for Ertz.
I just went through every position group in my head, and I was really thinking to myself, like, who actually would have value and who – because, like, I mean, an easy answer obviously would be someone like Nate Gary, but no team's going to want anything. You're not going to be able to get a bag of chips for Nate Gary. So, like, it's not even worth bringing up. As far as, like, there's really nobody. The only one that I could really think of is Jalen Hurts. I don't personally – I'm not over the moon about the entire like trying to have him as Taysom Hill on steroids. I never really liked that from the get-go. And as far as like he seems like he's a talented player. He's young. He's on a rookie contract. I think he's got some value in that respect. So that would be my one guy I would have on the trading block.
Jeremy answered his own question. What about Mills?
No one's trading for Mills.
I mean, if he's a versatile guy, he's a role player for this team. I think he has a nice little role here, and he's cheap. It's I don't know. Chris, who do you have in mind?
One person who we're all down on, but I could see a team going after just because like the quantity and quality in the league. Jason Peters is one person that someone might be interested. I know it sounds crazy to us, but like he's still like a guy who can play tackle or guard. And Kelechi Assembly just went down for the Chiefs. So maybe Andy Reid makes a call and says, like, I'll throw you like something cheap. That's like a possibility. I mean, obviously, like I would be completely okay with getting rid of Deshawn or Alshon when they come back, but I don't know what their value is going to be like. But at the same time, like if you can get anything for them, like let's say Fulgham has another good game today, which I think he's going to just because of out of necessity and because he's hot right now, like, and Alshon comes back, like I would definitely consider trading Alshon. I mean, like his contract's huge and you kind of want to move that. And then on top of it, like, I don't think Alshon's washed either because his last full game he had for us was against Miami. He went for like 14, 120, and like almost a touchdown.
And he's coming off a Liz Frank injury.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if you can move that, you can try to, but it's tough. I mean, like you gotta look at it and like a realistic standpoint more than just like emotional. Like I want to get value here, but like it's weird the way that the trade market works. I mean, we're what, 2.5 weeks out from the trade deadline, so I guess we'll find out then. But those are two names, JP and Alshon probably. But
I would love Isaiah Simmons. You know, like I don't even know if they're using him the right.
They're not.
He has 58 snaps so far. He's only played 58 snaps. That's ridiculous.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. Trox. I think you already know Trox is the answer.
Well, I mean, you know I'm going to mention
Ertz, huh? Is it Ertz?
You know I'm going to say it because it's the only one but Evan, isn't that the whole reason why we drafted Hurts? Isn't that the whole reason? So we could flip them? Did they really think that they were going to use him within 2-3 years of Wentz?
That's the only thing that would have made sense to me because the Taysom Hill thing.
That's the only thing that makes sense. So I mean, that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up, Evan. I mean, him and Ertz are the only two on the offensive side of the ball that you could see maybe. Chris, you said JP. That is very interesting that you brought him up with the Chiefs because of their injury. That is probably the only thing you could do right now. Because look, the whole entire NFL passed on him to sign him in the offseason. Nobody wanted his ass, and we brought him back with, we'll take care of you. But I'll tell you what, I saw a couple people mentioning in the chat here. Where are we stacked at right now? We're stacked at defensive line.
Malik Jackson, bro.
Shitload of defensive backs. And we have a shitload of wide receivers that are no names, basically. But the only thing that's worth money right there is our defensive lineman. There's a couple studs in there, but I don't want to break that up. Nobody wants to break that up. So I mean, it's a touchy. You go both ways.
To be honest with you, I was thinking about putting defensive back on our hypothetical block as well, but then I'm thinking in my head about how Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas are balling out right now. Those are two guys that would really. Do you think that was a product? Is that another faux pas by Jim Schwartz? Like, when do we get the axe grinder out, man? When does the guillotine come out of the shed? That's what I want to know.
That's where the saying "bad things in Philadelphia" happens, because that's where the bad things in Philadelphia happens. Once they leave this city, great things happen, and the bad turns on us. But you know what? We're going to be a fan no matter what hell happens. And I'll tell you what, I hope we sell, but it doesn't look like we're going to be selling. And,
there's nothing to sell. Like I don't see.
Exactly.
Like, I think if I was a fan of a team that traded up any asset for Jason Peters, I would be livid. Like I don't see any team going for Ertz is maybe the only guy I can see, and then you're getting rid of the only guy that like one of his best weapons. It doesn't make any sense. Like
if something happened with JP, that'd be like winning $100 in a scratch off.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah,
like I think you have to be. Like, the GM would have to be crazy to do that.
Yeah, my guy is Malik Jackson. If there's one guy that you could trade with value, I think Malik Jackson is showing up. You look at the pressure he's causing. Joe Burrow still remembers Malik Jackson, what he did. He's probably seeing him in his nightmares. So I think, me personally, I'm feeling a certain way. I'm feeling a certain way about trying to win this NFC East. If this is going to be the last run, this is the last hurrah before we get rid of everyone, because it's gonna get ugly. We're gonna lose a lot of players. Like Brandon Graham. Remember last year, or 2 years ago, he was greeting all the media members, thinking it was his last hurrah. Like this year will probably be his last hurrah. So if we can take one last ride and get healthy at a certain time, this would be it. If you're,
do you think it's a problem Howie Roseman's kind of like having that mindset though? Like I think that's part of the problem here is we're having this mindset to hang on to this last thread of this 2017 team. I think it's time to move on. Like it's time to get off of this hump.
You also have to think about Howie Roseman this is for his job. Like like other like you have coaches in jeopardy of losing their job. You have Howie. If he screws up again, this is. Lurie's going to be like, you can handle the accounting part of this, but we're going to bring in a football guy. So this is how he's playing for his job too. So
he's had some awful roster management.
I think everybody's on board with that though, maybe except for Howie. Like everybody in the city is on board with him not being in charge of the draft for sure. Yeah.
Not have fun.
Yeah. Can we talk about this real quick about Howie? Yeah. Is this true?
Yeah, I would love to.
The article that came out this week that he's the one in charge of who dresses and doesn't dress. Is that true? I mean, I read it like 3 times. I'm like, are you being serious? The head coach is in charge of this, the GM? That says it all right there, boys.
It all comes down to the paper, man. It all comes down to the paper. It's about people hitting incentive deals.
But for a guy that can't draft, he can't draft skilled players, and he's the one that's telling you which players are on the field that Sunday or not, that says it all right there. What the is that, dude? Are you serious?
Yeah. His roster management has been awful. Like, if you I know Casey Toole is only 7th round pick, but what was he doing cutting him for Vinny Curry? Like, you're cutting a young defensive talent potential. Like, Casey Toole probably won't be an NFL player, but who knows? You drafted
scooped up already.
Yeah, by Washington, a team that's stacked at defensive line, so clearly they see something in him. And for Vinny Curry, like, come on. And like Deshawn Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. Well, Alshon could have been on PUP to start the year. He could have been, and they didn't put him on there, so that's a roster spot gone. Deshaun Jackson's been out for the past 3 weeks. Like he's been out for the past 3 weeks. So yeah, like I think Howie's hasn't done awful managing this roster so far. And look, I'm losing this trust. Like I don't know. Like this roster is old. There's not a lot of young, exciting talent on this roster to look forward to. There's some like you got Sanders, Goddard. Of course, Wentz is still young. Like Fulcham's coming up, like in Rager. But like it's the cupboard's kind of bare here. So like the Eagles are built to win now, and they're not winning right now. And that's kind of shows on Howie Roseman, and I think he's done a bad job in the past couple of years.
Makes a point over here. Hargrave looks like an awful signing for how much we gave him. I think he's he's starting to come on. I feel like sometimes you start playing with new players around you have to get that vibe. You have to know how the other players are playing. I think you want a little bit more production, but I'm still holding out. I think he gives you a valuable depth, and he's strong against the run. So I don't know.
I think the Hargrave signing was fine. Like, go after a young defensive tackle. It looks like he'll be the Fletcher Cox replacement. I don't know if Cox is here next year, but I think that signing was fine.
Shout out to Emily. She says offense in general has been boring. I think I felt like the first couple weeks, I thought it was so weird because that first two drives we scored points and you're like, oh, this offense is going to be amazing. But I felt like Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson were not on the same page for a couple weeks. I felt like the offense needed to get back to a more basic offense for Carson Wentz to, I don't know, like I felt it was weird because like Dougie P was kind of like, oh, we're gonna have to kind of like dumb it down for like Wentz, but I feel like dumbing it down and letting Wentz be Wentz, his ability to move outside the pocket. We were like, yo, how could you not have Wentz outside the pocket where he wins? His QBR is the highest out there, so why are we not designing plays to his strengths? So I feel like, if it's boring right now, like I hope they did open up last week a little bit. Travis Fulgham. I mean,
look what happens when you get a number one receiver on the roster. Like you know what I mean? It makes all the difference in the world.
I mean, Gail, the funniest thing is you're like, is that when you're mentioning the dumb it down? The dumb it down is when we did the most random plays that week. We were doing the reverses that like got lost yards. We did the Hurts when he had the fumble, and then luckily Wentz bailed us out against San Fran with the dime to Fulgham. But that's why it's so weird. I feel like the offense is almost schizophrenic. It just doesn't have an identity, and it's kind of all over the place because the big thing with Carson is he's a big rhythm guy. Torrey Smith was talking about that on the sports radio this week, saying Carson is an elite talent. Everyone in the NFL knows that, coaches, players. He goes, the big thing is if he's not in rhythm though, you can tell when things kind of go off the rails. But who really would be in rhythm when you have one remaining starting lineman? Your running back is only touching the ball 10 times a game, so the defense knows that you're passing probably 45 plus times. And then it took an undrafted free agent wide receiver who you cut this offseason and luckily got back to emerge to give you any kind of life on offense. That's why it's just it's so wild to me because you look at the salary and where the money is on the offense at receiver, and Jay Jaw is not giving you much. He's blocking. I mean, that's why this week for him is really big, Jay Jaw, because Alshon and Deshawn might be back on Thursday Night Football, and the dude maybe has one last game to show anything. I mean, he had a really good catch before halftime last week, but it's dude, but everyone's just all right, and he got up and celebrates. Dude, that should just be a normal fucking play every week. Just catch the ball. It's crazy though. You know what I mean? Travis Fulgham has more yards, catches, and touchdowns, I think, than him in 2 weeks than his whole career, and it's frustrating. I mean.
And look at the positional spend. This positional spending. This is wide receivers.
That's ridiculous.
Grow
oh
up.
my god!
You talk about $30 million at the wide receiver position, and 23 mil is going to just Alshon and Deshawn.
And they're not playing. They're basically just stealing money from the Eagles right now.
They should have been put on PUP.
Yeah, God.
Look at the production though out of the guys that that are balling out. Our leading wide receiver right now is Travis Fulgham, dude. At $55,000. $555,000. That production that you're getting that's your leading wide receiver right now.
Shout out to Goodwin taking a year off, brother. Have fun.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys saw, but Deshawn Jackson, Adam Schefter came out and said that Deshawn Jackson's expected to play on Thursday night, which is why he's not playing this game. So,
I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that too. I thought that was the right call.
He'll play 5 snaps and he'll be out for 4 more weeks. Collect that paycheck.
Yeah, he's been such a disappointment. Oh, God.
If he has a good game against the Giants,
Good
if he
morning.
has a good game against the Giants, I would trade him immediately because he's just like a ticking time bomb right now. I love Deshawn. He's one of my favorite Eagles of all time. But like at this point, for us, he's like a ticking time bomb. Like if he goes against New York, goes like 3 for 90 and a bomb touchdown, I'd be like, hey, like this guy looks great. Like you should trade for him. Like I would trade him immediately, and it sucks.
I agree, Chris. I think ultimately at this point in Deshaun's career, he's not consistently popping off every week. I think you do have to take advantage of those weeks that he does pop off and sell high. I mean, that's really the only thing. Like he's not a guy that's out here. He's not going to be a game buster every single week. He's going to have a great game once every blue moon, and he can't even get on the field at this point. So. As far as Trox, you brought up Marquis Goodwin. Do you guys think that he is around next year, or do you think he just never even plays a snap as an Eagle?
Well, I think so. His contract, so he is expected to come back, right? The contract voids till next year, so technically he's under contract for like 1.35 million, something like that. It's not bad, but even if you think about that trade, like that trade never, like they swapped 6th-round picks to get him. So basically, we got him for free. So that kind of shows what San Francisco thought in him, right? So like he's not. He's fast, but I think he's career highs like 350, 400 yards. So it's not like he's been productive in his career. He has the intangibles and the speed and whatnot, but we've seen it with other guys. That doesn't always translate to production. So we get to see kind of what he can be. And I never thought he was going to be a contributor. I actually thought he was going to get cut at a camp, even if he did kind of come out. The wide receiver room was packed.
I was a little excited about him. I thought a new venue, a new team that might have been good for him on the East Coast. A little rougher, a little tougher.
I agree. It could have.
And welcome Jimmy to the chat.
Good morning.
What's going on, gentlemen?
I see you got some new Eagles attire.
Yo, that's a fresh jacket there, bro.
Yeah, man.
I like that.
Now how I know that? I was on the website last night looking at here.
I was looking at a Travis Fulgham jersey on Monday after the game, and they didn't have him up yet. I think they just brought him up yesterday. So.
I have the new Eagles salute to service.
Yeah,
that's nice.
That is nice. I got the new sweatshirt from 1996, probably. Yeah, that's about it.
Flex.
Still fresh to death.
All right, I like the old school, man. You cannot mix midnight green with Kelly green. That is a complete violation. You want to wear Kelly green, you go all the way Kelly green. You can't mix it. I literally want to punch people in the face if I see them. I'm a very nice guy.
You're mixing two different eras.
Yeah, dude. No, Gail, remember where were we at? We were on the road somewhere, and we kept seeing that left and right. And like, dude, I want to straighten these people out immediately. What is wrong with you? You colorblind. My luck, the person's colorblind when I give them crap for it, but it's just me.
Dude.
Yeah, random NFL news says Melvin Gordon's probably facing a 3-game suspension for the DUI.
That's my fantasy. That's
really?
My fantasy running back. Just
RIP to my fantasy running back situation.
Shout out to our resident Australian.
Hey,
mate.
I would say what afternoon to him, evening, sir.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, nighttime for him. Yeah.
Yeah, nighttime. So, can I ask you guys a question? Was anyone offered a ticket for today's game?
Yes.
What's that?
Was anyone offered a ticket for today's game?
Thursday, not tonight. Not today.
I am going Thursday. Yeah, I am going Thursday.
My two uncles
offered a ticket today, but I was not paying that price. I'll tell you that much. Eagles fan got smart. They raised the prices, so these Baltimore fans.
How much were tickets?
They really gouged this week.
I heard they were
expensive.
They really did.
Yeah.
I saw them go for like $600, man.
I saw like 250 in the nosebleeds. I saw like 250 up in the nosebleeds, like the high 250s.
Yeah. I could have sat lower level on the 50-yard line for $200, or I go Thursday night for free. You make the choice. You know what I mean? And about the same area too, midfield, 50-yard line. So I am going to do it, fellas. I haven't decided if I'm going to wear a green hazmat suit on. It says Fire Gym shorts. I'm not sure yet. I might. Yeah, they're only $20.
Have you already secured a location where you could find a green hazmat suit?
They're on Amazon.
Internet.
$20.
The internet.
Wonderful
Never
thing,
fails.
isn't it?
Never fails. Never fails. So I'm gonna I'll do my best on Thursday night to get some footage for the fellas and see how it is.
I might be there too, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Welcome,
yeah,
Sam.
but,
Good morning,
you
man.
know.
Hey,
Me and
thank you.
Trox, me
good.
and
How are
JT
you?
might be there.
Yeah.
Man.
Me and JT might be there. I'll let you know.
You back home now? Are you? How are our Florida people? I mean, did you escape the hurricane?
Oh, it wasn't a threat to me. It was more of a threat to Soko since it kind of ripped through the panhandle a little bit. We haven't really had a big hurricane alert so far, so
Gotcha.
we escaped.
Well, there is a storm coming to Lincoln Financial Field today. I'm afraid.
Oh,
yeah.
The new
Is
Our
his
storm.
name-
Eagles going to be prepared
New
for
Norman's
it. Yeah.
gone for the new storm. I mean, at least,
What was that?
at least we got Eagles fans in the crowd. I mean, it's got to be weird for like veterans to actually like play with like it's like what is that? What do they call it? ASMR. It's like private shit.
Bless you. Bless you.
ASMR league now. Like really, it's got to be weird. Melado was saying he's like, hey, I'm not actually used to playing in front of fans. You know, this is gonna be like.
Yeah. By the way, dude, you
They
did
used to play
one
in
hell of a
empty
Jordan
stadiums over in
imitation.
Australia?
What's that?
You
I
did
said,
one
did he-
hell of a Jordan Mailata imitation earlier, buddy. That was great, man.
I
I
was
wasn't on yet. I heard you. That was great, buddy.
I was watching a lot of
I would
Jordan.
have butchered that.
So the first three and out, you'll probably hear boos, right? You guys think so too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You might hear booze when they come out the tunnel, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might really hear booze coming out the tunnel. I think
that-
people have theirs locked and loaded already.
Yeah, they're 5 weeks of sitting on
I
them.
think it's a good thing. Yeah,
Yeah, so do I. I think it is too. They need to hear some real life boos.
Now, talking about the man, the myth, the legend. Are we going to see good Doug or bad Doug today?
I don't know.
I think we're gonna see Jackass Doug.
Yeah, man.
He
called it a good game.
I'm nervous.
I thought he called a good game against Pittsburgh.
Out there, good Doug or bad Doug?
Cojones, Doug.
Dude, nah.
I want to see Cojones
It's
Doug
hard.
for sure.
Yeah, so do I.
Your running back rushes
we
for
need
74
Cojones
yards.
Doug going for it on 4th and 4.
Like, are we feeling this?
Yeah.
Like,
We might be.
I'm definitely feeling that. Like I've been
I feel
feeling
like
that.
Doug in press conferences recently he's been kind of
Oh
bipolar.
yeah.
Like, have you noticed that?
Mhm.
He's definitely been very passive aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at his
He's
eyes.
been very passive and aggressive.
He's been chirping at some of the beat writers.
Biting his lip.
He looks uncomfortable a little bit. He doesn't look like Haagen-Dazs Doug.
Nah,
Yeah,
Mike,
no,
there's not much of a-
he's definitely shook. I don't think that I think there's a lot of factors. I don't know if I would like to get inside Doug's mind and think about what he really thinks about Jim Schwartz. Like I wonder where his stance is on that. I mean, obviously he has to back his guy in press conferences and everything like that.
Hey,
But
Evan,
I wonder if
perfect time to get your Doug Peterson cap out.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Evan, you want to know what's going on in Doug Peterson's mind? Did you ever see them metal balls that hit each other and go back and forth and never stop?
Or the
That's Doug
monkeys?
Peterson's mind during yeah. They either go faster or slower, but that's Doug Peterson's mind right there.
I don't know.
bro.
So last week against last week against the Steelers, that play that the end touchdown Chase Claypool, they should have called a timeout there, right? Once they saw they had Gary lined up against Claypool.
Yeah.
So does Doug and Jim not talk? Are they not standing by each other? Like, there's no communication between them to say, hey, maybe this is a good time to call a timeout? Like,
what they should have done is performed an exorcism. They should have performed an exorcism on the field to get Gary away from the play.
Maybe they're waiting for Howie to get
Yeah. You know, like I heard the players weren't allowed to call timeout there. If I was a player, I would just ran off sides and hit somebody, and okay, now we can fix it. I didn't call timeout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come
So
on.
this next segment, we're gonna go around the room. We want everyone to put their thinking caps on. Doug Peterson thinking caps on. First of all, check that out. Philly special.
Yeah, I got mine. Dude, I slept like 4 of them at that game.
Yeah, I jacked like 7
I got a
of
bunch
them.
of those.
You got to say,
Yeah, man.
Where can I get one of those?
Yeah.
This is exclusive,
I
man.
don't know.
This is
Yeah,
what
man.
you get when you go to the games. You get merch like this for free.
Well, it's
Yeah.
you know it is a
Yeah.
little difficult when we
apart.
live 1,500 miles away.
Hey, I
Gail.
don't care. Willie's here from Australia every year. I don't want to
Sounds
hear
like a personal problem, man.
So, what would you do if you're Doug? So, what would Doug do? So, we want you to put your Doug Peterson caps on and think like Doug. How are we going to attack Baltimore Ravens this week?
Well, if I'm Doug Peterson, I'm putting my Doug hat on. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna run Miles Sanders. We're gonna really get him going, right? We're gonna get him going, and then we're gonna pull the rug out from under him. We're gonna stop getting him going. We're just gonna stop. We're gonna abandon the run altogether, and we're just gonna keep on trying to force the ball to, I don't know, we're gonna Travis Fulgham, and then once that well gets tapped dry because Marlon Humphrey is just locked down on him, then we're just gonna try and force the ball to JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
All right, Chris.
Wentz is gonna make a mistake.
Chris,
All right.
what are you doing as Doug Peterson?
This is what we're gonna do.
Praying.
Brandon Williams got the COVID, so run Miles all day. Don't abandon the run, like Evan said. And then you got to make sure that number 86 gets a little involved. I mean, Baltimore, they can get exposed in the middle of the field, so you got to make sure Ward and Ertz are getting involved. Then TF Travis Fulgham. I mean, he's red hot right now. No one can stop him. So give him some shots. And then maybe JJ Arcega-Whiteside, they didn't even watch any film on him because he has no film. So maybe he can just like set up near the sideline and just like slowly run on the sideline and no one will cover him because no one knows who he is. So, I mean, come on, Doug. Get the wheelbarrow out.
Oh, Brendan, what would Doug do?
What would Doug do? I think the Brandon Williams injury is key up the middle. So it'd be a big Miles Sanders game for me. Finally get this screen game going, maybe. This screen game has been atrocious this year. Boston Scott is like he's completely invisible right now. I try to get him involved. The last 4 games of the year last year, Boston Scott was a huge part of this offense. He's not right now. They need some help from their backup running back. So I'd go there. And look, I'd get Travis Fulgham going again, man. Like he was the only guy that was doing something last week. Get him going again. It's going to be a tough matchup with Marlon Humphrey this week, but I think you gotta attack the run heavily, screen game, mix it up. If you got a Jalen Hurts play in you, the best one, pull that out of the playbook, get some creativity going this week. I don't know. I think they're in tough this week, but
all right, Jimmy, what would you do if you were Doug? What would Doug do if he was Jimmy?
Well, right now I'd have a visor on, so you guys were a little more prepared than I. But I'd pull my balls out. That'd be the first thing I did in the morning.
Yes. Yes.
That today because it's been unacceptable. Apologize if it looks like I'm not looking at it on my phone here today. Look, Doug, you know you need to run the ball. We know that Brandon Williams is out. We know you don't like to use the game. You know all these things that you need to do. You just haven't done it. We don't want to hear about it on Monday morning. Yeah, I know. I know now, and I've learned so much. Don't give a shit. Come out. Pull them out, buddy. That's all I want to see today. Have a great speech before the game and let these people know that you are unacceptable. It's unacceptable to see all these mistakes, the penalties, all the stupid turnovers, and young linemen. Let's step it up, baby. So I some of that fire and energy and the cojones.
I like that.
Trox, what would you do if you were Doug today?
If I was Doug Peterson today, number one, I'm taking the ball right away. I'm not kicking off. I'm taking the ball. And you know what? Doug's going to surprise himself. He's going to run the ball over 30 times today. He's going to slow down that offense as much as we keep our offense on the field just because this team can put up 45 points against this team. I'm just saying. That's the only way you're going to beat this Ravens team. You're going to keep the offense off the field, do these 8-9 minute drives that maybe get you a field goal. And, and then at halftime, I'm Doug. I'm going into the office. In golf terms, we call this swing juice. So, you get your glass. You get a little something.
Yeah. Yes.
And you get the swing juice. Go Birds.
I've never heard of swing juice in my entire life.
It's a term, Gail. When you're having a rough round of golf and you finally get an alcoholic beverage in you and you start to feel loose, you get every dude, swing juice.
I'm all too familiar.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
as a whole.
I got a nice little stat for you.
We got
If Lamar Jackson, he's 0-5 coming behind from 10 points or more.
He's hurt.
Interesting.
So if I am Doug, I'm getting up on the aggressive Baltimore Ravens early. If you can get out, get a couple drives, get this quick strike, maybe a quick tempo, get Carson Wentz feeling like Carson Wentz, get that rhythm going. If you can get Baltimore playing from behind, that's a win-win. Obviously, keeping Carson Wentz comfortable is the key to the game. Like if Carson Wentz is out of sync, this offense is out of sync. So if Carson Wentz doesn't feel a certain way, it's not a good scene. So I think firing up Travis Fulgham, it seems like that comfortable. They're comfortable with each other. Let's keep it moving. Keep the ball moving. Keep chucking the ball downfield. Dink, dunk, and chunk, man. Don't be afraid to even. I mean, they got some great corners out there, but you got to take a shot downfield, and it's got to make sense. So if I'm Doug, I'm keeping this offense moving and keeping Carson comfortable.
Yep, I agree. Anyways, guys, I got to take off though, so go Birds, and I'll talk to you after the game.
All right, man.
Go Birds.
Hey Sam, how are you feeling, man? Like, if you're Doug Peterson, what are you rocking? What are you doing today?
All of you guys are focused on the offensive side, so I'm going to focus on the defensive side. You got to bring pressure. That Baltimore O-line is pretty good up front with Ronnie Stanley, and but Lamar Jackson looks hurt. I don't know how hurt he is, but he's not running like he usually is. And if Lamar Jackson's not running, he's one-dimensional. Make that man throw down the field because he's not a great thrower, contrary to what any Ravens truther says. He's not a good thrower, so make him throw downfield. You have Darius Slay. You have one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Make him beat you downfield, and that will be the way the Eagles win this game.
I like that, man.
Strong pass rush.
A lot of people are not talking about that enough. About Lamar Jackson not looking like Lamar Jackson. I mean,
He ran for 2 yards last week.
Raven fans will tell you that he hasn't looked exactly like himself. He had a knee injury, and then he had an illness last week.
Right. Right.
So what kind of illness is that? Is that like whenever
Vid related? Is that what you're trying to say?
I feel
Maybe his game plan is trying to cough all over the Eagles secondary so they get sick.
like Rona Jr. Like is that a thing?
I don't know. But
Correctly, they're trying to make him throw the deep ball too much, and I was saying he's like 4 for 18 on like throws over 25 yards, like he's not out there. And they're third in the league running, but they need to establish that. So if you can make them one-dimensional, like mentioned, that's huge for us. And Lamar Jackson has looked like he's not the same. Even if he was, there is a chance, but now you've got a much better chance. So hey, we struggle against the deep ball, so let's just hope he still struggles.
I think Drew Johnson actually brought up a decent point. I mean, we've talked about taking away the middle of the field with Ward, but John Hightower is another guy that I want to talk about as well. Because I'm looking at John Hightower, and while that ball went through his hands in the end zone, I get that. But as far as him getting open downfield, it looks like he is. It looks like he is creating separation, and he is getting open. I know that Wentz just missed him on a deep ball, but he laid the hell out for that ball, full extension on his stretch. So I'm looking at I'm not forgetting about John Hightower. I think he's somebody who can contribute. I think that I think he can get open downfield and he can burn people. So I want to see some more, at least a couple attempts to John Hightower deep today. Yeah, regardless of, I know that Wentz has been inaccurate downfield. I'm aware.
I like to see his hand placement. That's been he's got to go up and get those balls. I mean, he can get deep. I think he can get separation. Just got to come up with some of those catches. Shout out to Elena, always active in the chat on game days. Defense has got to show up today. I definitely feel like that front has to, if they're a strong running team, if there's any way you could slow down the run game, this would be the game to really. This is a test. J.K. Dobbins, he's your number 2 guy, and really that guy can break off runs. So I think you got to shut down this run game, because they've had an issue throwing the ball deep. He has an issue throwing the ball over 20 yards, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's 5-21, 160 yards and a touchdown so far, over 20 yards.
20.
So if you can keep them one-dimensional, that's you got to
play up, man.
You got to play up. You got to, like Brandon Graham talked about, being too aggressive. You can't be too aggressive. You have to play discipline, because if this guy gets outside, it's lights out.
FYI, fellas, we got Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz arriving together at the stadium about 25 minutes ago.
Sleepover.
More room for activity.
Ertz and Wentz.
Wentz and Ertz
Walked into the stadium together. We'll see.
Ertz and Wentz.
Yes, sir.
Had a little slumber party going on.
Is that
Nice.
his high school jersey?
Yeah, what is that? A Julie Ertz?
Yeah,
jersey?
this is
Wow.
Zach Ertz,
Wow.
limited edition high school jersey. Monte Vista.
Wow.
Is that a Bobo?
No, dude.
No, this is a real
You
jersey.
got papers? That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's cool.
Wow.
Man.
How'd you
Yeah.
get that?
Yeah.
Chris
I
doesn't
might have
mess
to-
around with this collection, dude. I will give him that. Chris has got a nice, solid little collection.
So I was at a Sixers event. It was Mark Zumov, Tobias Harris, and why am I forgetting? Boban. And they had this like novelty sports arena thing. Jersey thing. And Zumov's like, is like that an Ertz jersey, and I saw it there. But it was like ridiculously overpriced. And I did some searching and I found it. But yeah, worth it.
Nice.
My man.
Might have to wear it today.
Yeah, I like what you said about the Ravens, Gail, about his record of coming from behind 10 points. That's always the MO of the Ravens. They need momentum at offensive going. That's why they can't like quick score and come from behind. So that is huge factor today. If we go up 10, 12 points on this team, I mean, I know that's nothing, but it's something to work with. It's
definitely something.
Considering
what Gail just said about
you know?
Lamar Jackson going down
That's what
by
I mean.
you said if Lamar Jackson goes down by 10, he's 0-5, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
because they like
Yeah,
pounding
so
the ball,
if you
and
get
then
10 points
getting
on 'em,
cute.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Great.
that goes a long
Trying
way.
to beat them at their own game.
And so Drew Johnson also says, watch out for creative runs, i.e. jet sweeps. I think that is another way that we can get, I was just talking about John Hightower. I think that's definitely a way we can get him involved, get him sweeping around the outside.
Kevin
Let him
Duvernay.
take off.
Yeah.
What was that?
Watch out for them doing that to us. Probably. We've allowed 100 rush yards to wide receivers and 3 touchdowns. That's unacceptable. So you can't have them
Terrible.
trickery. Unacceptable. We talked about third in the league because they have 4 really good running backs: Mark Ingram, Justin Edwards, and of course Lamar Jackson. But then they have that trickery too. So great call by the fan there that said that. Watch out for all those jet sweeps, everything like that. Play your role and let's.
Mr. Puga.
This guy Puga over here.
Mobile.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Excuse my lateness. Let me get into
You
my
wearing pants, dude?
my man cave here.
Are you wearing?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. All right. I'm not.
Can't be walking around the house like that.
Hey, can we get a view of the man cave right here?
Is that the bedroom?
Well, this is actually my room. This is my room.
Yeah.
This is my
Yeah, man.
bedroom.
Yeah, right.
Where all the
hold on.
magic.
Let me get my bearings straight here. How's everybody doing this morning?
Does the
know.
helmet stay on during sex, Puga? In the bedroom?
Nah, he's got one for her.
You
the
always gotta
headbutt.
wear protection, man.
That's not what I meant.
I don't know what that is.
So my room has been a little bit under construction the past couple of months. I've been doing some remodeling here at the house, and gonna get my bangs straight here. Hold on for a second. Okay,
You get your bangs
so
straight?
this is stuff I collected. Huh?
What did you say?
My bearing straight.
I think you
My
said
parents, they gotta get.
Nice talking to you, Puga. Take it
Oh
easy.
no. So anyway, yeah, this is the wall. I got my Brian Dawkins autograph from his retirement game. A friend gave me that. I got Randall Cunningham. I gotta put everything up again, but I have Randall Cunningham's autograph up here. I got Jordan Hicks. I got Fletcher Cox autograph. I got Peg here. I got the old school flag to commemorate the old schools, the ones that set up the Eagles for success in the past. Got a Cowboy because fuck them Cowboys, and the helmet. So yes, Evan, the helmet when it's go time.
Love it.
Nice.
So it's a little something. It's not as extravagant as everybody else's, but it does the job.
We all got our own little.
Yeah, we all got our own little caves, man. But we all gotta that's the thing for Eagles fans, is that we all need our own little safe space, because the Eagles ultimately at some point are gonna end up hurting us, and we're gonna need a little place to go crying. So any sort of
anymore.
whatever makes you comfortable, that's your man cave.
They're called screaming rooms or crying rooms these days.
Yeah.
They're not fan caves anymore.
Ooh.
Right.
Ooh.
Screaming.
Yeah, man. You don't scream
Yeah,
at the TV?
man caves are for when you're winning.
Yeah.
So what was your like wake up feels about this game? How did you wake up? What was your vibe?
Let's go.
You know what? At the beginning of the week, I wasn't feeling as optimistic, but now that I look at the Ravens' offense, they're very run heavy, and the Eagles' run defense is actually, I think, is pretty good for what they have to work with. So they have a shot to win today, and I think they will actually pull it off. I think if they can contain Lamar Jackson and keep him in the pocket, and
That's a big if.
and hopefully our secondary makes a couple big plays. So hopefully we can get that W today if they do all that.
You said hopefully like 3 times.
Yeah, there's a lot of hope.
He's a man of faith.
I keep
Yeah.
hoping.
Switch it up.
He prays.
We pray.
Hopefully.
He prays.
Yeah, I know. That's because that's all we have. That's all we have.
Just remember,
That's all
Puga.
we have.
Just remember, we might have Nate Gary spying Lamar today. I mean, I don't know about prayer or not, but I might have to watch the game from church for that to happen.
I know.
I don't know how you guys feel about parks. Are we gonna go? Are we gonna go an extra state?
So
here's something.
Here's something that, and I'm glad Jimmy's in here for this conversation as well, because we've been talking up Will Parks. I'm so excited to see Will Parks out there today. But here's my thought process: is that, like, are we like putting too many eggs in Will Parks' basket? Like, are we expecting too much? Like the way that we've been talking about Will Parks, we're waiting for him to step in and save our season. I'm not so sure. I think Will Parks can definitely help us on defense for sure. I don't know if he's going to be a season saver. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's that kind of game changer.
Eagle fans, their expectations are always high. We want everything. We want the best of your performance all the time. We want the best. Like, it's so. I'm sitting already expecting. I'm like, you're going to come in and make plays.
Right.
This is the first time setting foot on the field, and plus we need him. We need him badly. So hey man, that's in Philadelphia. That's what we expect.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, high expectations for sure, but I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to be. I don't know if I'm being pessimistic. I don't know if I'm being realistic. I'm trying to be like, you know what I mean? I'm walking a tightrope right now.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what do you think?
Welcome to welcome Jeremy to the chat. He went from
What's
the
going on, fellas?
He went from the chat into the show. This is how you do it. See, Jeremy. Thank you again for being active in the chat. How are you feeling? Did you hear Evan's question?
I didn't catch the tail end of it. As far as how I'm feeling for the day, I'm feeling optimistic. I feel like actually going to be a shocking game. I think it's going to be actually a closer game than most imagine. For some odd reason, I feel like offense shows up. Carson has a hell of a game. I know all our bags are in right now for Fogle, but I actually think Ward's going to have a big game, in my opinion. I feel like he just hasn't. He wasn't really utilized as much last week, but I feel like Ward has a big game this week.
You're feeling this.
Yo,
Right
I'm sorry, brother. Yo, Swags, you about to throw up, bro? You all right? You all right, dude?
Weird coughing fit.
My man almost lost it.
I got to timestamp that. What is that, 120?
I got the Rona cough through there from Florida, bro.
120.
Sorry,
So are we feeling this Greg Ward vibes?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, you can attack him in the middle. That's why we like Ward and Ertz a lot today.
Jimmy Smith.
Absolutely.
Feel that.
What, we don't want any no Dick Rod action today? He's on the lineup?
No.
One more time.
He's there, but
Dick Rod.
K-Pazza?
K-Pazza. Get some Dick Rod action today.
maybe Jason Kroom gets a couple more snaps.
You know, my friend dated him.
You know what? You know
My
what?
friend
Is
dated him when he was in the Bills.
When we're talking about comfortability, you know what is
Jason
comfortable is comfort food, and one thing that is really killer down in Baltimore, they got the crab cakes, man. One thing I'm looking forward to.
Shout out to Jimmy's.
I'm going to be making crab cake sandwiches tomorrow on 4th and John, okay? Are you happy you know? Just don't tell anybody. Shit.
Cat's out of the bag, folks. We got crab cakes on the way. So I mean, if you're not hungry yet, I know once the crab cakes get on the screen, this shit's not gonna hold me over.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, look at this.
Oh.
Wow.
You see, me and Kale are always on the same wavelength.
Cute as shit.
So Evan's going with the cheddar cheese, I suppose.
Out of Pop Tart.
Is that what you got going on? The cheddar cheese.
Pop Tarts are the elite.
If I'm being real, this is one of the biggest mysteries in life because I don't understand how a cheddar cheese cracker and peanut butter work so well together. Like cheese and peanut butter, I feel like that's not a mixture that should ever happen. This shit fucking
What kind of
slaps.
Bobo cracker company is that?
Hey, don't talk shit on Lance,
It's Ritz
bro.
or bust.
See, he's got
Ritz or
Ritz.
bust.
That's legit.
It's Ritz or
That's
bust.
legit right there.
It's Ritz or bust.
What do you got there, Evan?
You got the Bobo right there, dude.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, I'm on third stringers right now.
What up, dude?
Yo, you got
gotta
the
pay them
old,
I'm on
college
third
drinks,
string
bro.
cracker company.
you got the old
They didn't even finish the word here.
Here we go. Look. Evan is still paying for college. Evan's still paying for college. Gail just got done paying for college. Boom.
That is actually true.
Yeah, you gotta hold
man.
it like this to get you gotta get the Pope meme. You gotta hold it like this.
Yeah,
There you go.
dude, the Pope meme's been killing me so far. I saw
Where the hell
one
did that
where
come
he was
from?
upside down and he had the
Yeah.
blizzard. He was holding the blizzard upside down. Cracking up.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Gail, I'm just remembering this, like the Lamar Jackson Eagles trade. Like that kind of just hit me because it's the first time that we're playing him. Like this is the first time that we've seen like the trade go on. What was it?
Yeah.
Goddard, Miles Sanders, and Avonte Maddox for Lamar, and then I don't think the running back on their team stayed there, but it's pretty cool though. Unfortunately, we're missing 2 out of the 3 players, but the Baltimore wouldn't have Lamar Jackson without our trade.
That's funny. Like Raven fans, you know, you have to thank the Eagles for your success, for your MVP quarterback. Maybe the Madden curse is affecting him right now.
I hope so.
Maybe it took.
It definitely skipped a year with Pat Mahomes.
Maybe it took a little while.
He did get hurt though, Ev. A little hiccup.
And he won a Super Bowl though.
Oh yeah, oh, absolutely.
Now, Geo time on Twitter, he says we have to keep the Ravens tight ends under control. Ebron was the exception, but haven't played them well.
Yep.
That's a point that I made mention on our last podcast. Every offensive coordinator has seen what the play has been like at the linebacker position coverage. It's not like we have world beaters in coverage here. Nathan Gary, we know what he is. Luke Riley, TJ Edwards, a 2-down linebacker. We know this is what it is right now. We're riding with Nate Gary. And
let go, Jim, let go.
Let go of the guy. But like Higbee got his. Andrews is getting his. Andrews is getting his.
And I think Eric Ebron, the fact that like he really was the only outlier in that whole situation, I think Chase Claypool just having the monster day that he had, the Steelers kind of viewed it as like, why take the ball out of Chase Claypool's hands at this point? Like he's already been dominating the entire game. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why try something different when Claypool's just been destroying?
Man, so I mean, after last week, we'll go around the room. How you guys feeling about coming off a loss like that? Do you think the Eagles rebound? And in the chat, how do you guys feel about Eagles rebounding this week? Do you think they felt challenged after losing a close battle like that?
I mean, personally, I think the Eagles are pretty good at playing week to week, if I'm being honest with you. I think the Eagles have had some embarrassing losses in their time, and then they, the following week they can snap out of a funk. So I don't even think last week was necessarily an embarrassing loss. I think that it was a hard-fought loss. I saw some progression, which is like really we were going into that game, and there was a lot of people that weren't even expecting them to win anyway. I mean, people were riding high after the 49ers game, sure. But, I mean, we looked at this 3-game stretch between the 49ers, the Steelers, and the Ravens, and we were like, we'll be lucky if we get, 1 to 2. So we have a possibility to get 2. And I think the Eagles can definitely there's a possibility. I'm not putting any money down on the game, but I think the Eagles could sneak the Ravens today.
Interesting.
I think the Birds are plus 285 today.
Plus 380.
They were 293 last time I saw.
Plus 380. Just took them. Plus 380.
Hello.
I actually feel kind of differently now. That's kind of scary. Plus 380.
Jeremy, do you think that you think they rebound after last week?
I feel a lot more confident, with the exception of Nate Gary, because I have no confidence whatsoever in his ability to be on the field, on the sideline, even in the locker room. But I definitely feel like offensively, I felt a lot more confident, especially seeing Fulgham. Was a little pissed when Doug stopped running the ball with Sanders, but I feel a little bit more confident offensively. Now, defensively, it's another story. I think that it's always a week to week, like kind of Evan said. It's always a battle that we're always going to have to face. I'm curious to see how Parks definitely plays into the defense. I think him and, of course, Slade will definitely have a big game, but I feel confident in the game. Again, defensively, I think it's going to be a shootout. They're going to have to cover Andrews. That's just going to be their go-to.
Jimmy, I mean, are you feeling like they're going to rebound this week? Are you feeling that vibe, or?
I am. Perfect comment to be below me. I think Will Parks coming in. I agree to an extent with Evan. We're putting a little stock into it, but we got to hope that Will Parks helps with the problem. Toshi, yeah, how about it? The defense needs to step up. Hills, that's going to be rough. But Will Parks being back, that's going to be huge for this defense. I think it's going to help against the Mark Andrews problem and allow Nate Gary to do things like spy. Maybe have a spy on Nate Gary. We'll double spy it up. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we got to worry about Nate Gary. But other than that, I saw some good things last week. I'm concerned about a new offensive line again, but these guys can gel. We can protect Carson, get that run game and the screen game going. I'm confident in this team, and I think we could definitely upset them, make them one-dimensional. Let's go Birds.
He's also confident about his guy.
We're confident in Zach's ability to get open, his ability to separate, his ability to be where we need him to be, and he's a playmaker. Defenses still know that, whether he's catching 10 balls a game or 1. Defenses still know he's a playmaker, and he's someone they got to be aware of. And I'm confident that he'll still get his. And as far as the chemistry, I feel good about it. It's something that we're just going to keep building. Every practice, every time we step on that field, him and I always get extra work in. So, it's not something I'm overanalyzing by any means, and I'm confident he'll have big games ahead.
Now we talked about Ertz coming in with his trusty quarterback. What kind of conversation do you think they're having in the car? Like, are they playing some Christian rap talking about.
They're definitely listening to Creed on the way out. They're bumping Creed on the way in.
I had that.
I can hear. I can
some
see
of
him
that
on some
JC Superstar.
Christian rap. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that JC Superstar stuff. Make him feel good about himself. See the light. Yeah, all that.
Like,
good
I mean,
stuff. I don't know.
all right. If we're gonna be serious here, what do you think that their conversations are like going into the game today?
Zach, we're gonna get on that field and we're gonna go praise God. We're gonna go praise him all the way to the end zone. You're gonna.
I'm looking forward to bye week. I hope he goes and takes them on a honey trip. They like man bond together and fix whatever they got going on. Like, just get it together.
I'm just, dude. I've been watching recently, just for some more Wentz content. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just I'm dying out here in a subpar Eagles football season. But I've been watching a lot of the Wentz Outdoor Bros content that they've been putting up, and I've kind of been hate watching it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a hunter, so that already that's a stroke off my book. But as far as like him, just like his accuracy with a bow and stuff like that, I'm like, where's that on the field, pal? How about you go hit some targets with a football instead of an arrow?
I haven't watched it yet.
I don't know if that's up your alley, if I'm being honest with you.
It's
not up my alley. But
I didn't get this in when you guys mentioned the tight ends. That's on the other side of the ball too. The Ravens have problems guarding tight ends.
Yep.
So I mean, both sides of the ball is very sketchy when it comes to the tight ends today. So I don't know. Is that another key to victory? Maybe, maybe not. But I heard it during the week, and it makes a lot of sense. But what we got here? What up, fellas? Ready for the triple homicide today? Oh, wow.
What's up, fellas?
Triple homicide. Whoa.
My man.
Is that on our side, or are we doing?
Yeah, I want to know who's dying in this.
I would assume it. I don't know, because he does have Carson Wentz on his thing. So
Well, I know Nate Gary's probably going to be one of those today.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other two are.
Now, can we Gail, can you get Nate Gary up on the screen? Can you get White Snake on the screen for me, please? Excuse me, Mr. Snake. The only way you're going to gain respect from the Philadelphia Eagles fans today, if you go out there and you take out Lamar, brother, you do whatever it takes to hit that guy, even if it's after the whistle. That is the only way you guarantee respect from this Philadelphia fan base ever again, my friend. And you can slither your way out of town at the end of the season. Only way, brother. Good luck and go Birds. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Nice. I mean, sometimes you just got to let the emotions fly. Sometimes you just got to let the emotions fly.
It's good. It's good to let it out. Good. It's therapeutical. Therapeutical. There we go.
I mean, Ed, we're talking about what's this one about him changing the league to Oh yeah.
Yeah. Agree, John.
I mean, we're talking about the game plan. I mean, like, I feel good about this game. I mean, like, Gail, you, Evan, and I talked about this at the top of the show. Like, I think that the Steelers were a tougher opponent because there's a lot of pieces to figure out. Baltimore is so one-dimensional. You put Slay on Hollywood, you hit Mark Andrews right off the ball to knock him off his route, and then you have Will Parks hopefully covering him and not Gary. That's like 75% of their offense. And then all you do is make sure that you contain with the ends. Don't get this isn't a game that everyone's like you need to push and get a sack, Lamar Jackson will run himself into sacks. He'll try to go all over the place. As long as you contain him, it's fine. I mean, maybe bounce around the idea of Kayvon Wallace maybe spying him more than a linebacker, because Wallace has his speed and he can get outside on him too. I mean, we'll see what happens. Offensively, I mean, it should be a huge Zach Ertz, Greg Ward day. Fulgham, I still think Fulgham's going to have the ball in his hands 4 or 5 times just on big plays, third downs. I mean, I like their cornerbacks on Baltimore, but at the same time, you can just throw the ball up and Fulgham's going to make a play. That was evident last week. I mean, the big thing is the defense just has to contain Lamar Jackson. Slay's going to take care of Hollywood, and then Andrews. Just hit him off the ball. I mean, if the Steelers were allowed to get away with that, what was it? They had the pass interference that turned into the interception. If they can get away with that, We should be doing that too, honestly.
We're calling, according to Soko, I agree with him. We're calling him by his government name until he can either turn his game
Nathaniel.
around or he is off the field. Nathan, I was just thinking about Nathan as well, and I'm thinking to myself, like, we really are at a disadvantage for with this defense. We're playing shorthanded. Like, he has been completely useless on the field. Also, I can't think of one thing he's really done right. There's nothing that comes out to mind about like a big play that Nate Gary's made. I think he had the interception in the first game, didn't he? Yeah.
Well, he had that, and then last year he had that one
interception of the Jets
against the Jets, where the defense was just teeing off on the quarterback that game. But
yeah,
other than that, he hasn't really done anything.
But that's what I'm talking about this year specifically as well. But like,
Nate anymore.
I got a new nickname for Nate.
Nathan.
No,
Nathaniel.
Nate Scary.
Nathan.
I woke up this morning, I was like, I need a nickname for Nate Gary. I'm like, Nate Scary.
Well, how did he get that name White Snake? Is that from the team, or is that something that you guys all came up with?
That's what he calls himself, which is a violation in itself. You don't make up your own nickname and call yourself.
You don't get your own.
That is
you
a
don't,
violation.
You don't create your own nickname. It has to be
make your own nickname and
has to be given to you.
Reporters say, "What do I call you?" You call me White Snake. What do you do, jackass?
It's like that old white shit that Will Ferrell licks in Step Brothers. White Snake.
Oh, wow.
Oh. We're calling for the chef already. Yeah, on YouTube, they're having their own they're having their own conversation right now.
Are they? Are they keeping
it
civil? Bring up Dante Olson.
I don't think that's
Daz Deals. He's in his fields. He wishes we got Marcus Peters. We got Darius Slay. Does that not make you happy? We got Darius Slay.
If they got Marcus Peters, we probably wouldn't have gotten Darius Slay.
But I've been happy with Darius Slay's play.
Yeah,
I
mean, you know, Slay is a good veteran. Marcus Peters also a good veteran. But like, you look at Marlon Humphrey was on the team before Peters, but still a younger dude. And you know, they got an elite between those two. Those are two really good cornerbacks. And I can't help but think going back to the cornerbacks we had earlier in this year and how they just continue to shine on another team. Is that a factor of them just being misused? Probably. If I'm looking at the rest of this defense and I'm analyzing how we can see game after game how players are misused, I'm going to say that, yeah, those cornerbacks probably could have been more valuable had they been used correctly.
We could have drafted Marlon Humphrey. It was drafted 2 spots after Barnett was. Yeah,
I was just about to say that. Like, when I was analyzing the draft that year, I was like, the one saying I kept saying defensive end would be the most Eagle thing to do. And then they went defensive end. But then I was trying to look at the players that were on the board at the time. And Marlon Humphrey, like, I studied so much Marlon Humphrey that it was ridiculous. And I'm thinking, like, you know, he's got those long arms. He's got the speed. He's raw, but he's gave up some, big plays. But I was like, man, Marlon Humphrey, not a lot of people are liking him, but he showed that he could have been that guy. You know what I mean?
Tre'Davious White too. He was
that was another one of them.
Tre'Davious White.
I liked him a lot out of LSU that year. That was a great one.
We had a 4th and John draft show, and we had like 5 of 4th and John writers on there, and Tre'Davious White was the consensus pick for all of us.
That one hurts me.
Come together, and
that was the Marshawn Lattimore draft as well, right?
Look at Chris, the LSU.
LSU
over there.
Was
you got a Tre'Davious helmet?
I would have an Eagles one if we didn't suck at drafting, but that was like such an obvious pick too, dude. Like, I was just sitting there. I was like, not even as an LSU guy. I'm like, dude, he's like the best corner in the draft.
He really was. He really was.
He's so good. Like, if you watch him, he's not even that fast, but people just like are stuck to him every single play.
He's locked. He's like Gilmore. He's locked down.
But look what AJ Brown did against them just because White didn't play. Like it was their defense was completely different. The Bills got smoked in that game.
Yeah, Josh Norman's not good anymore. Let that be a lesson to everyone else.
That was the funniest stiff arm ever. Josh Norman was like 4 feet in the air like this for like a whole second, and then just kind of flew into the sideline.
Josh Norman's been really trash ever since he left the Panthers.
He had one good year. He had one good year in 2015. That's it.
Washington?
He was never never top player. Never top player.
Paul in the chat. So how do you guys feel about Wallace? Why aren't we leaning more on him?
He's gonna get a lot more
potential and needs more time or another miss. I haven't seen enough, but
I like Wallace.
He actually talked about his play so far. He talked about being graded out pretty high for the amount of snaps that he's had. He's talked about him being one of the most vocal players on the sidelines when he's not playing. He feels like he's going to get his time today. He should get some more time today. I think he also talked about being a leader amongst the rookies and saying that the rookies, this year's rookie class, will not know what, they'll never not know what they're doing out there. They all kind of pride themselves in being leaders in the locker room and actually being smart football players out there. So hat tip to Kayvon showing that leadership role. Was a captain for Clemson. I feel like time will tell, but I feel like he's got a great opportunity today to show his skills.
See, Swizz is feeling highly about it.
Marcus Epps is out. Ford was put on the IR the other week. Jalen Mills is going to be playing cornerback again today, so doors open, man. Will Parks will get a chance to play in there too. The 3 safety sets, so got his chance today.
Yeah.
John says Gary said Gary should sit on 3rd downs. That's like say that fast.
It's hard. It's hard. Gary
John
should
Bradley
sit on 3rd
should
downs.
come in on 3rd down and spy Lamar Jackson. Lamar is it's going to be hard to spy him. Obviously, it'd be nice in theory, but I don't think Bradley. Have we seen enough of Bradley? He's not a speed demon, though.
No, but Davian Taylor was that. This would be a great time for Davian Taylor to pull the wrapping off of that one. If only he was good to go.
I understand. Like if you watch some of his athleticism on tape, he pops off. Like
Bradley or Taylor.
Taylor. Dude was a track star as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't get on the field to track people down, I don't know, man. That move angers me because you're looking at your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks this year are not even on the field, dude. Not even on the field. Like you can go around the league, and that's
a lot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you think about how valuable those picks are.
Yeah,
hey,
Marty
fellas, I'm
Williams.
curious about the defensive coordinator, Wink. I'm curious how he is going to scheme up against Carson. As you, Gail and Evan know, I went down to Jimmy Seafood for a golf outing in July, and I got to meet the defensive coordinator. Real cocky dude, real cool guy. Like, he would shine in Philadelphia. Like, that's how cocky he is when you talk to him. So I asked him about Carson. I'm like, well, what do you got to do to scheme against him? Like, how do you set it up? He didn't even hesitate. He goes, it's too damn easy to scheme against Carson. And I gave him a look. I was like, why? Because he eye bangs a certain tight end all day, every day? And he just looked at me with the biggest smirk on his face. So that I've had that like stuck in my head since I talked to him about it. I'm just curious to see that part of the game today on how he's going to go up against Carson and how Carson's going to counter against what he gives him. So that's what some of the things I'm going to be looking at today, just because of, having that stuck in my head after conversations with the guy. I can't talk about a lot of stuff I talked to him about, but that was one thing I could definitely talk about that we talked about that day at the golf outing. And shout out to Jimmy's. We're all big fan of Jimmy's, but not today. You can go screw yourself, Jimmy's. That's damn right. And you eat crab cakes.
Yeah, Jimmy's crab cakes are amazing. By the way, we still have not figured out who at the tailgate ate the last round of crab cakes. You know how expensive those bitches are, and someone left them
Dude,
on
that
the
bastard,
table,
dude.
and somebody ate them,
I didn't even get one,
Yeah.
bro.
Neither did I.
Went outside.
bro. Like,
Gail, you remember when we were in Baltimore years ago? That's when I met you guys for the first time down in Baltimore. And when John came over with that box of crab cakes, I told you guys, I was like, yo, you're going to act like you open a box of gold and it's just going to glow up at you. And you know what? Your faces lit up when you guys saw the size of those things. It was, and you know what? You guys loved every second
Great
of that,
item.
man.
So I never had a crab cake until I had Jimmy's.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember you saying that. That was your first crab cake ever, brother.
And I felt, dude, Jimmy's huge. I mean, dude, your boy was huge, dude. And I'm like, I'll have a crab cake.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's my boy Z. That's his cousin. Yeah.
But then I was like, yo, these shit
shout
are
out.
so good, man.
Yeah.
It's always a good sign whenever there's a heavy chef.
When the juggernaut comes in here, aka Alex comes in here and starts making his crab cake, I'm gonna be feeling a certain way because right now I'm eating Pop-Tarts now.
What favorite Pop-Tart you got, dog? What you got? You got the classic icing? What are you doing? You got the s'more, don't you?
Strawberries.
Strawberry.
The way to go.
Oh,
Strawberries the way to go. Strawberries the way to go.
Try.
You got no
Whoa, what are
frosting
you-
on that?
No
bitch?
frosting.
Yo,
Wow.
what are you, a psychopath?
Put that man in the bathroom. Put that man in the
Gil
bathroom.
gets the edges only Pop-Tarts.
Oh. Oh.
You like the
Put that
frosting?
man in the bathroom.
Huh?
You like
Hell
the
yeah,
dude,
we like the
it's
frosting.
You say it as if it's a weird thing. You say it as if we're the weirdos.
As you get older, you have to worry about sweets. You know.
Yeah, the Pop-Tarts are what are
One
really
Pop-Tart?
your doctor's killing you
Yeah.
over, right?
Try to get diabetes over here. Okay.
Hey, R.I.P.
Dude, the brown sugar cinnamon's where it's at, man.
So
That's the one. That's
is
what
that a thing? You can't. You have to have frosting on your Pop-Tart.
Yes.
They're the best.
What's the point of it? What's the whole point of it then?
Point of it.
You got to put it in the
You're just eating
toaster.
some,
You're missing the flavor.
eating some
You have
flavorless
no
calories.
frosting
You're just
on
eating some
that. You don't even
flavorless
toast it.
calories there.
Your Pop-Tarts are like
Yo.
Doug Peterson's game plans. Dry and vanilla
The
and
Bobo. Yo, these are real. Okay.
I didn't say Bobo. I told a Pop-Tart rapper. But you're a psychopath.
Bobos.
You don't even toast it, and you don't even have frosting or anything on it. It's
I
a
don't
dry
toast it either.
Pop-Tart. My man, I love
It's
you.
useless
Holy
like Nate
shit.
Gary.
Yeah, Gail, I don't know how to feel about
That's the
that.
Nate Gary Pop-Tart right there.
Raw dog. Raw dog.
Raw dogs.
I like my Pop-Tarts raw dog guy. Okay. Like y'all be eating
Oh, man.
sushi uncooked. And you're looking at me. You're like, I love sushi.
I'm
It's
not
uncooked.
Well, yeah, that's the
Yeah, but
gimmick.
Pop-Tart-
That's the gimmick. It's uncooked.
Yeah,
I
the
don't-
only time I
I
eat
don't do
sushi
the
is I'm
uncooked
on a date, and she
Yeah,
kind
Gail,
of
I-
likes sushi. That's the only time.
Shout out to Steve. He says, I've always eaten Pop-Tart without frosting too.
You guys can have your
Yo,
own bathroom there.
There's a lot of psychopaths in this world, Steve. You're just another one, just like Gail, brother.
Yo, Gail, Larry's trying to get in and Alex is trying to get in, so I'm gonna pop out. I'll catch you guys after the game probably. But yo, go Birds. Fly,
Birds,
go fly.
see, Chris.
Go Birds.
Take it easy, Chris. Have a
Yeah,
good one,
Chris.
man.
Who's trying to get in?
Alex and Spencer.
Oh, okay.
I gotta grab something to eat. I'll be back on a little bit before the game starts. So
If they're Pop-Tarts, make sure there's frosting on there, motherfucker.
Yes.
Hey, do you toast your Pop-Tarts or you just eat them right out the bag?
Out the
It
bag.
depends on what
Look
kind
at
of
it. You
time
can tell it's
situation
not
I got
toasted.
going on. If
I'm
I got
Evan,
the
it
time,
takes
I'll
a
toast
minute.
it.
Evan, it takes a minute.
Yeah, but I'm a procrastinator, so I'm always rushing out the door. So if I'm really rushing out the door, then I will just grab them and go. If I have a minute to wait, then I will toast them.
same here.
I'm with you, Evan.
Yeah. Hey, though, so I'm about to go.
But like,
Gail,
if you toast them, they get all soggy and they
eat
break in
cereal
half.
without milk?
Nah, you gotta
Jimmy, we need to
I
go
need a
birds.
right. You gotta toast
I
them
always-
right, Puga.
We need to go birds, Jimmy.
Oh, I'll be back before the game starts.
Okay.
Go Birds!
Talk to you, Jim.
I just saw Spencer. Just lost. Now I'm getting clowned for my Pop-Tarts.
I mean, it's. I'm not gonna
Deservedly.
lie, it's warranted.
Deservedly.
Yeah, you're.
Sure.
My man.
We got Marty saying, answer my question.
Jeez.
All
What
right,
was that,
all
Marty?
right, Marty, we're on it.
What was your question, Marty?
His thoughts on Jamon Brown.
Oh, right. We were actually
Oh,
talking about
yeah.
this, and then we got on the topic of Pop-Tarts.
That's Jamon.
You know,
That's
yeah,
Jamon
we got to
Brown.
address the pressing matters first,
Yeah,
and
dude.
then we get to the real questions.
That is Jamon Brown's spot to lose.
Welcome Spencer to the chat. What's up, man?
How you guys doing?
Living the dream.
What's up, Spence?
Living the dream, man. Sunday.
Where are you at in Canada?
We're just east of Toronto. It's called Ajax, Ontario.
No, not far from Brendan.
Yeah, we're actually in the same hometown.
Oh, no way.
Y'all should join the chat at the same time, man. That would have been
Yeah. We should, man. We should get a little Canadian action going.
Do you ever take a
Go
trip
Birds, eh?
across the border into Buffalo and go get the wings, man? We made the trip
Oh, man.
last year. But the wings in Buffalo were really top notch, man. I'm not.
They are, man. They're great.
They were
I got a good story for you guys if you want to talk about Buffalo.
We're here.
Yeah.
When Mike Vick first came to Philadelphia, I was all for it. I loved it. I thought we were going to get Mike Vick from Atlanta. I was loving it. So got a jersey, went over to Buffalo to see them play. I think it was his second year. I could be mistaken. Could be the first year. Walking through picket lines, walking through this, walking through that. I'm about 12 years old in a Mike Vick jersey. I have people yelling, screaming at me. Full-grown 40-year-old men almost fighting me in the stadium. It's a good time, though. It's a good time.
just for your jersey.
Yeah, just because of my jersey.
Dude, Buffalo is
Something to do
great,
with
man.
dogs, man. Something to do with dogs. You harm a dog.
City's stuck in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, getting back to
get back to the question.
Marty's question.
we don't Marty to be pissed off at us. We can let Spencer have the first crack at it.
Sounds good.
Yo, Marty, next question.
Your thoughts on Jaylen Brown? If he plays well, does Pryor get his spot back? Because easily he's been the worst lineman so far.
I think right now you kind of just got to roll with what works. So if Jamon Brown works, you kind of got to keep rolling with it until it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So against this D-line, well, this whole defense, they're going to hit you with a lot of different, you're not going to be matching up with the same guy all game. You're going to be hit with everybody. They're going to blitz from all over the field. So I think this is a big test for this O-line. I definitely think it's good for the young guys. We'll see how it turns out. But like I said earlier, if it works with Jamon Brown today against one of the better defenses in the league, I think you got to keep rolling with it.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect opportunity to, Jamon. There's a James or Jamon.
I think it's Jamon. I'm not 100% sure.
I've been saying that, but I feel like he's got a perfect opportunity to see what he has in the tank, because Pryor's play has been very subpar. I think you're only looking for a couple more weeks to hold down the fort until
Fingers crossed.
Brandon Brooks comes back. So
that 31-inch box for.
You're hoping that we can get something out of him. What's the team that we pulled? Whose practice squad did we pull him from?
Chicago, which kind of scares me a little bit because their O-line's not crazy. So if he's on their practice squad, we'll see.
Someone said Marty is hated Pop-Tart. Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to see what our line looks like. I have a graphic here with the starting lineup. With our offense, you're looking at this offensive group here. Just look at it. Carson Wentz, obviously our Lord and Savior, Miles Sanders, Zach Ertz, looking fine. Wide receiver, John Hightower, rookie. Jordan Mailata, a third year, basically getting his third game in a row or second game in a row.
Dude, are you kidding me? That bastard Jimmy Smith?
They're big. Holding things down. Jamin Brown, Jack Driscoll, really tight end Richard Rodgers, Greg Ward, Travis Fulgham. Come on, if you saw these players lined up a year ago and said this is the Eagles starting lineup, you'd be like, what the hell happened? Was there what happened?
Was there a pandemic?
I was about to say a national pandemic, maybe.
So I mean, it's crazy. So I mean, look across the way. who on the Ravens defense really concerns you guys?
Dude, honestly, I can't help but take my eye. Like, obviously, Marlon Humphrey is the guy that jumps off the most to me. But if I can't take my eyes off those
I
two
know where you're going.
linebackers, man. Yeah, I can't take my eye off
They're
the
not
two
gonna-
linebackers. LJ Fort and Patrick Queen.
Yup.
Those are two guys
Yup.
that, like, LJ Fort, he was in the building, man. He was in the building. He
Yup.
was a guy that could have been a part of this group. He could have been. He could have been one of our linebackers, man. And then Patrick Queen, he went in the draft this year. There was another guy we could have got. Well, did he go end of 1 or did he go in the second?
He went at the Ravens pick and won.
Okay.
At 30, 29, one of the two.
Yeah. So I mean, if the Eagles are really eyeing up Rager, I understand that they pass on Patrick Queen, but just looking at like the holes that we have on this team, the linebacker position, they're definitely a lot better than we are in that respect.
100%.
Does anybody else get pissed off whenever you see a pass to Hightower? Because I feel like Hightower's gotten a lot of looks lately, and it's dropped every single damn one of them. Like
I think there's been a lot of missed balls though too. I think he had an opportunity in the last game, and he had beaten his coverage, and I think that he ended up just being overthrown. And I think he laid all the way out for it. I agree with you that he is blowing opportunities, and the fact that he missed that ball went through his arms for the touchdown. Yeah, that is a missed opportunity for sure. He's a rookie, and that's why I said in the last show is that like he's a fifth round rookie. You know what I mean? He's got to grow still. There's a reason he went in the 5th round. So I think you just got to keep on trying with him.
I think I was excited to kind of see how much confidence Carson has in him because he's throwing a lot his way.
Yeah.
And Fulgham wasn't too far behind him, of course, but I've been surprised this season so far how much looks he's actually given Hightower. I'm just hoping at some point he catches him or he just doesn't stop throwing to him because, I mean, it's going to happen at some point. He's going to start losing belief in him. I know he's a rookie. I get it. So I understand.
Yeah. I got an interesting prop bet for you guys, and it has nothing to do with the game, although it could. Because it could give us good vibes going into it. So I'm getting hardwood floors installed upstairs, right? These guys said they were going to be here at 10 o'clock this morning. If they can hold out until 1, they're still not here. If they can hold out until 1 and this show is over, I'm feeling some pretty good vibes about the game, dude.
The key is the window. What window did they give you? Because they know you know these guys that always come out to the house. They always have these crazy windows.
They said yesterday that they were going to be here at 8 in the morning, and then they showed up at like 10.
They give you those crazy windows between the hours.
They said 11
and 12 o'clock in 3 weeks.
So the prop is that they show up. What are you talking about here? Talking about football.
I'm sorry, guy.
I'm confused too, Gail.
First of all, shout out to Cool Guy. Cool Guy. Are we
okay, Evan.
Yeah, time out, Gail. I gotta tell a story about Cool Guy. So we're from San Antonio, and we've gone up to Philly the last couple of years. A couple of us from high school. We're high school friends. We all grew up Philly fans. Cool Guy. We went up last year. First year, my friend got an Eagles tattoo on his back. Second year, Cool Guy went up last year to get a tattoo. He got Philly special. I forgot where we went. On South Street, don't know why he went there, and he got the Philly special. The guy actually put it upside down.
Oh,
so
what?
We can get him
that's brutal.
I just had to give a Cool Guy a shout out because that's my boy, and I know he's gonna ask something.
Cool Guy.
Cool
Guy. I need a photo of that.
We need to see that. We need to see that.
Man, I got the Philly special on my leg, and they almost did it backwards.
The funniest shit is like he got to the hotel, like he had it wrapped, and then we're there on the phone, like looking at it, and I'm like, something doesn't look like because I got the guy like when we got in the tattoo shop, because we went to go to the bar, came back, and the guy was done, and so we're like, yo, let us see it, and the guy wrapped it up real quick. We didn't get to see it, so we got back to the hotel. So like, I looked at it, and I'm like, something doesn't look right, man. Something's off, and all I hear from the bathroom is, oh shit. No, it was upside down.
Yep.
You
know what? It's always a bad sign when the tattoo artist doesn't want to post a picture of the work that he just did.
If you want to show off the backwards,
he has to show it. It's upside down. It's funny though.
No, it's funny because I got the Philly special on my leg here, and when they put the first like template on, it was actually backwards, and I had to look at it twice to make sure it was normal. I even looked on my phone. I'm like, is that going the right way? Then yeah.
I just had to embarrass my boy.
Paul said Slay is active for today. Paul is over in London, right? I'm right.
He's over across the pond for sure. I think.
I would say across the pond, but
I think he's in England. I believe he's in England.
Yeah, I think
I'm not
so.
sure. I'm
think
not
you're
sure
right.
if I'm not sure if London specifically, but definitely England.
Let us know,
It's definitely
Paul,
on the other side of the pond.
exactly at, so you can connect with other Eagle fans out there. If we're gonna be, let's go around the room, juice up the conversation. Who's going to be the breakout player for the Eagles today? Dad says Jay Naw, as we've been talking about.
Jay Naw, dog.
Is Jay Naw to us until he does something. Jay Jaw is going to have 3 touchdowns today. Okay.
Well, whatever he's smoking.
JJ is going to have 3 blocks today.
3 blocks?
Yeah.
I think this is a true Miles Sanders game today. We've been saying this the past couple of weeks. I know you guys have been saying it, but I'm saying this week. I'm looking at these defensive tackles being out for Baltimore, and I'm thinking that Miles Sanders is kind of like I'm not sure what he's saying to Doug midweek, but I'm hoping it's something along the lines of, "Yo, I'm popping off, a big ass 74-yard run. Just keep putting the ball in my hands, man. Let me get in a rhythm. I want to see Miles Sanders get in that rhythm today. I think he has a possibility at another big game today.
Trucks.
And getting involved in the pass game.
I hope what Evan said is correct. It's kind of what I said about keys to the game. Take the ball, waste the clock, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. I don't care who's running the ball, just run the damn ball. Waste the clock today. Keep that offense off the field. Okay, keep our offense on the field, dog. Don't have your running back get 74 rushing yards in the first quarter and he doesn't even get 100 yards rushing for the rest of the game, bro. Come on, feed him the rock. He wants to rock. Let him prove to people in the NFL that he is an elite running back, which I think he can be and is. So he can't let him prove it if you don't let him do it. Come on, buddy. This is the day to do it. You got fans in the stands. You're gonna get that, bro. I know. I wish I was at the game today, dude. I should have did it, but I'll be there Thursday. But I'm just saying, you have him there. Use it. All right. He's not like a bottle of wine you keep in the cellar for years. He's that bottle of whiskey you want to crack right now. Let's go. Let's have a good time and let's do this. That's where I'm at on this. So Evan, I'm with you on that right now, brother.
He's blue label.
Someone's fired up.
Damn right, brother.
Yeah. Booby Miles. Sam, who do you got to break out?
I can't follow that as heartful and crazy as that was. But if the Eagles have any chance of winning today, Ertz has to be a main piece in this offense. He's got to get open. He's got to get the ball because he's got to move the chains because they don't really have anybody else to move the chains. You can say fold them all you want, but until he actually does it, more than 2 games, I got to see more. So Ertz needs to be the reliable guy. Attack their linebackers. Attack LJ Fort. Make us look smart.
All right. Spencer, who you got?
I want to see what Will Parks has in store today. I think he can help this defense, especially the middle, these linebackers that we've been seeing getting torched, especially the one that we don't like to talk about, Nate Gary. Will Parks could help a lot. He's versatile. He can line up in several different places. We can have him on the outside. We could have him single high safety position. We could even have him like what we saw with Malcolm Jenkins in that hybrid role. I think he could definitely help our linebackers in a game where I think our linebackers are most likely going to get targeted like crazy. Mark Andrews is most likely going to have a day today against us, and I hate to say it. So I'm excited to see what Will Parks has and to finally see him on the field because this is his first game in an Eagles uniform,
Interesting. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the obvious answer here. I'm going to go with Carson Wentz. I think he has to play a mistake-free game. I think if he doesn't turn over the football like he has been, we have a legit chance to win today. And that's pretty much it. I think, he's been a turnover machine, but when he hasn't been, he can light it up, make a lot of big plays. So I'm going with Carson Wentz, but he has to play a mistake-free game. Can't turn over the ball, can't fumble.
Jeremy, who you got?
So I alluded to earlier. I think Greg Ward because I think that they're going to cover Fulgham. I think they know Fulgham's not going to be a joke. So I think Ward could definitely have a good game. I'm hoping they do feed Sanders, man, because it definitely has been pissing me off. Like that guy's ready to just pop off in a second. They got to keep feeding him, and when his hand's hot, give it to him. Don't put Clement in there for a damn 2-yard rush. Just no need for it. Hoping that Parks has a decent good game. I don't have high expectations for him coming off an injury. I feel like it's going to be slow. You got to put him into the defense slowly. But those are my main guys.
You know who I think might have a good game? I'm going to have to go with this guy. Continuing this domination that we saw, where I just feel like maybe he's caught this vibe, dude. Like he looks like a guy possessed out there right now. Like
he has a chip. He definitely has a chip, man. He earned his respect last week for sure.
He's a hungry dude, man.
Yeah, that was a silky escape by Wentz right there too.
That was very good.
Why?
And the good thing,
these are some good routes. These are some good routes he's running.
Bro, he's already got more broken tackles than Zach Ertz.
That's not an accomplishment
right there.
That's not an accomplishment. I can get more broken tackles than Zach Ertz does.
Like that.
That was a big one. That was a big one.
Tough one.
Yeah. The catches over the middle are key.
This was huge.
That, bro.
She went up and got the ball.
Man.
Yeah, high point. What Eagles wide receiver high points the ball these days?
He's the only one on this roster right now.
When's the last time you saw an Eagles wide receiver that catches the ball with his hands and not his body?
Yeah, bingo.
I like it.
Look at all these plays. These plays almost look like, dude, like
finding the open space.
I like Steve's question. Do you guys think that since Jalen Hurts played as Lamar in practice, you think that has an impact on how
I was excited to see how that went.
Look how many plays he made, dude. That's
I
crazy,
don't know,
dude.
man. I think that they're definitely
If you're saying
going to
that
have
makes Nate Berry a better player, hell no.
No, it definitely doesn't do that.
No, I don't. I don't think that was the purpose.
I think we see Jalen Hurts on one or two plays today. But I think it's more of what we've been seeing. I would, to be honest with you, I would like to see him. The ball that he has thrown looked like a nice ball, but it's such a small sample size. It's hard to even gauge what he is and how he can contribute in this offense.
I think Hurts playing as Lamar this week in practice is more along the line of like containing him on scrambles and stuff like that.
Yeah. If anything, don't you think? He was playing as Lamar, right? So he was like faking like he was Lamar. You know who goes up against Lamar every week is the Baltimore Ravens defense in practice. So like it's not something that they're not prepared for. So you know what I mean? Lamar, the only one that can do it like Lamar is Lamar. So.
Right.
Now, John, who's your breakout player for today?
Morning, John.
What's up, fellas? What's up, Truck? For me, breakout players means a player who hasn't played well before. So for me, Miles Sanders doesn't count. I don't know. I might have passed on this one because it's just like
you're not feeling a breakout guy today. Yeah, doesn't tell me too much confidence about today.
Who's going?
All right, you can say that, brother. You can say that.
All right. So who do you think's going to shine from shine today? Who's going to like step up and make some plays?
I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. I've been watching this year still. And if you want to know like what football is all about or what Lamar Jackson's all about, look at his post-draft interview. Like for me, like leadership is everything in the NFL, especially with the Ravens. Like you look like 8 years ago when these players they had this poll or survey of like who's the best player in the league, and they all oh god, I have a bad memory. Who's the all-time great linebacker they had?
Ray Lewis?
Ed Reed.
Yeah,
Ray Lewis.
4 steps too slow, but he was picked to be the best player in the league because of his leadership. You know, you look at those tapes of like all the Ravens coaches, they never had to coach the locker room. It was Ray Lewis's locker room, and I think Lamar Jackson brings that. He's an excellent athlete. He's getting better as a quarterback. I just think the leadership, he has guys behind him, and they're just dangerous. They're together, going to move forward. I think the tight end for the Ravens is going to eat us alive. I really do.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is pretty scary.
Yeah, I'm not here for Nathan anymore. Cut hashtag cut Nathan for me. Bring up Greg Alt. I'll say Jamon Brown's my prospective breakout player.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice outside spot. But it's funny because we asked for breakout players. You mentioned Ravens player.
Oh, Ravens. Yeah. No, I thought somebody asked me about the Ravens. Who's a breakout player in Raven? Nobody asked me that.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
No.
It's all right,
no,
dude.
it's
All right.
a
It came from
flip,
the chest
bro.
and it came from the heart.
We can have you recover from
No
that, John. You
sugarcoating
need
here,
your
brother. That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
There you go.
Interesting, man. It's 11:40. We're almost about
I'm looking
20 minutes away from the game.
Yeah. You guys fill out your
can you put
fantasy
Lamar back
lineups
up?
yet? Don't
I
forget.
did not.
Oh God.
Hey, Evan,
Bad
how's
week
that
for me.
how's that Julio Jones trade working out for you so far?
Oh,
You know what?
I tried to trade him this week.
As embarrassed as I am, that league where I ended up making the crucial error of going wide receiver to in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 0-5 in that league, so I've pretty much thrown in the towel at this point. Yeah,
Hey,
that
You should
league,
have took my advice, brother.
brutal.
that's
I
a
wish you
mistake.
took my
That's a
advice.
mistake I'll never make again.
I wish you took my advice on that trade.
And so, but my other league, I'm looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm deciding: do I ride with Robbie Anderson or Chris Godwin today? Chris Godwin's coming back. Yeah,
Godwin.
I guess. Robbie Anderson's going up against Chicago.
Right.
Yeah,
That's going to be a running game on both sides.
Robbie Anderson
sure
has
hand
profited a lot.
Evan, just bench everyone and mess the whole league up. Bench the whole team, bro, and just play your.
Drop your entire
All right,
team.
but for a flex, do I go with Devontae Freeman, Robbie Anderson, Jarvis Landry, Debo Samuel,
Landry.
Jerry Jeudy?
Landry.
Mm-hmm.
Landry.
Landry?
Landry. Or
Robbie Anderson this year. I haven't been watching fantasy because I bailed out on this season, all my leagues, but he's been putting numbers up, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Freeman too. Freeman's not a bad option either.
Yeah, they're playing Washington. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Hey guys, if in the
That's a
chat
strong
you have
one.
like fantasy dilemmas, ask in the chat and we'll try to answer them.
How many of y'all actually picked up Fulgham last week after last week's game? Did anybody pick up Fulgham? Just curious.
I got outbid on him in Dynasty, but I have him in another league.
Yeah, I think he went pretty quick in my league.
Yeah.
One of my buddies used his entire fab budget just to snag Fulgham from me because he had more dollars than me.
Have you?
He knew I wanted him. He knew I wanted him.
You do the budget like free agents where you get like $100
for Dynasty we do. Yeah.
So we did that for the first time this year, and one of the people didn't understand the rules. He thought you got $100 a week, and that instead of for the entire season.
Brutal.
And he put like all of it. He put like a full $100 down for like Russell Gage or just like some random dude, just because he wanted him after like a really big week.
Nah, you got
spent his whole hundo.
Brian,
Robert Tanya.
Question, guys. Ertz or Robert Tanya?
Robert Tanya.
Start.
I still think Ertz.
I'm sorry.
But
the hell is Robert Tanya?
Tanyan's he's Aaron Rodgers' favorite target. It's Aaron Rodgers' favorite target.
Hey man.
Yeah, but Adams is coming back.
That's
though.
why I'm not in fantasy, brother.
Devontae Adams is back for the Packers. So
All right. I'm going to give you my fantasy dilemma right now.
Okay.
I have to drop something. This is what I do in my league. When I drop my defense, pick up like extra players, or hold on to them like right before the game. So I dropped the Eagles defense so I could just pick up some other players. I got to drop somebody from my roster to get a defense. I have on the bench Laviska Shenault, Jerry Jeudy, Deshawn Jackson,
Jackson
Fournette, Drew Brees, Melvin Gordon.
Jackson or Fournette?
Jackson.
Ronald Jones is taking over that
Jackson.
backfield completely.
You're dropping Fournette?
Either him or Jackson from that
Or
group.
do you ride no defense?
Gail, you know what's going to happen, bro.
defense.
You're going to drop Jackson, and he's going to have 3 touchdowns Thursday
It's
night.
going to pop off. There's no way. It's coming.
Do it then, Gail. Do it.
I'm okay with doing it just because it's going to help his team. Not yours, though.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? of the,
You guys think Antonio Gibson's worth starting?
Yes.
Against the Giants, yes.
Yeah.
I think we're starting on a week-to-week basis. He looks good.
Would you start Antonio Gibson or Devontae Freeman?
Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, Antonio Gibson probably.
Cool.
No,
Hey.
The roster's not looking that bad this week.
resident Aussie here.
Oh,
G'day, guys.
top of the morning to you.
Morning. How are we?
Doing all right. It's got to be what 2:45 for you right now.
Right on the money.
Wow.
Right
God
on
bless
the
you,
money.
Willie. God bless you.
What's
up, Willie?
Willie's been
brother?
stacking up dubs on these the trivia questions that we've had.
Oh shit.
We should ride with some trivia questions.
Don't want
Got
to sit here and let you guys go at them, or
Maybe John can give you some competition. Maybe Jeremy over here.
Not Willie, man. Ain't nobody beating Willie. I'm gonna be honest with you.
John, can you beat Willie?
I'm not.
Dominic-
My memory.
Willie, how many points you had today, sir?
Oh,
We are just spilling over in confidence today, guys.
Well,
Well, I
before
mean,
we get started,
yes,
can we ask them if they prefer Pop-Tart with icing or without? I just want to know. It's an important question.
Do they have Pop Tarts?
Willie, they got Pop Tarts in Australia?
not that I know of. But
That's
that being said, I haven't been paying attention either. So
That's a federal crime.
yeah.
Never mind.
Well, Willie, at the risk of asking a completely cliche question, I've seen like 4 different videos to this past week of kangaroos fighting. Are they really wilding down there? Like, have you ever seen a kangaroo fight in person?
Are they
Does
like
that
kangaroo
happen
jack?
on the regular?
Are they like kangaroo jack?
I've actually never seen a fight in person, but there's a paddock maybe 4 or 5 kilometers from my house, and there's maybe 15 of them there. So I maybe just sit there one day and just wait for them.
Is it like it's like a kangaroo reserve, like a?
I think so because there's some horses around there as well. It's all fenced off and everything like that. It's just
I know they're pretty nasty. They like a fight.
I get the feeling they're like deer out here, man. You know what I mean? They'll run across your car in the middle of the night, type of thing. Is that what it's like down there, brother?
Well, it depends where you live.
Running free like deer.
Well, I'm close to the city, so you don't see them as much where I am. But if you go maybe out in the outer suburbs, that's probably more likely. But where I am, because I'm 10 k's out of the city, it's not like that at all. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool guy.
Wow.
Okay, Jacob.
oh, there it is.
There it is.
It's upside down.
Wow.
And every year that we've
is it.
gone, it's funny. Every year we
Upside
go,
down,
it paints his beard green.
Upside
You know, the kids, the ones that are getting the air tattoos. We make fun of them every year because it's like, yo, you're holding up the kids. They're trying to get a little tattoo and you're painting your damn beard.
You know what the shame of it is too is that the spot that it's at on his arm, there's no way he can orient his arm so that it would actually be right side up. It's just
It's like you flex
it's just
underneath or
upside down
something.
permanently. Yeah.
Unless he's double jointed there.
Yeah, he got that for free, right? He didn't pay for that, right?
You definitely paid for it.
You paid.
I mean, that's on the dude, man. He messed up, right?
He's pouring now. He's pouring down the trucks.
Like, hey, do you want to get one too? And I'm like, nah, man. Like,
I'm just
I
saying.
honestly went broke practically. And I was like, nah. He's like, I cut you a deal. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm definitely glad I didn't get one.
But what's the name of the
I'm
shop?
a purchaser. The dude screws my hair. I mean, I'm getting up. I'm not paying the game. You know what I mean?
It's on South Street. I just remember that.
Sorry.
I was a little buzzed.
Well, ask your buddy what the shop's name is.
I want to say was it
Need to get
Eddie's?
the money
Eddie's?
Yeah, I would definitely be up on their page. I'd be on the Yelp page of look, the guy screwed up my Philly special tattoo.
Yeah, did it upside down.
I'm curious what your guys' take is. So now that we have, because this isn't really something we've talked about a lot during this show. Dak Prescott went down last week. He's going to be out for the entire season. We thought that this division, you won't have to have many wins to win the division to begin with. And now Dak goes down. How many wins realistically do you think that it would take to win this division A? And do you think Andy Dalton has any, you think he can carry that team? I think he's a decent veteran.
Yes.
I think with his weapons that he has, what do you think they can do?
Yeah, I mean, I think 7 or 8 wins.
I think
will
we're
take
screwed
this
either way.
division. Yeah, I don't want to. I personally don't want to win this division the way it looks. Would you want to win this division then get blown out by 40?
Oh yeah.
No,
What?
I've brought this
No,
point up,
because
but
if we win the division, we're screwing up our draft picks again.
Exactly.
You know? This is the perfect year to get a good draft pick.
Exactly.
We win the
You
division,
say
we're
that-
screwed. We'll go back like
That's how you
that
tank in the
post
season.
cheat.
You
You
say that
post
as,
cheat.
It doesn't matter.
People
you
fired
say
up
that
in here.
as if we utilize our draft picks correctly.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so what? We're gonna miss out on, we're probably gonna do
maybe
something
maybe
stupid,
people
like draft
get
a third
fired.
string quarterback in the first round.
But we want people to get fired. We want some coaches to get fired here.
like last year.
Like, do you guys
Like last year, we would have what? We would have got a top 10 pick if we didn't win the division like we did at the end of the season.
But how
many picks did we miss out?
To like tank? Players aren't going to tank.
They would have fucked up the pick
No,
anyway.
you're not going to tell the players that. But the reality of the division and how that's all taken care of. Like I heard, are they going to change this actually? I heard they might change it where it's overall records now. They're talking about
I did
because
hear
they're tired of
there
these
is something
teams
like
with
that.
6 or 7 wins getting into the playoff and hosting a home playoff game. Like that's just not right. You know, you got a 6, 7, 8 win team getting a home playoff game, which is kind of ridiculous. So I remember reading about it. They're talking about it. They're talking about maybe combining divisions where almost like hockey did. Where it's overall record, it's no more division record. I hope they go that way. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Anybody got a thought on that? I'm very interested if that changes anything in the future.
I must admit, I was very pissed off. I think it was in 2014. We went 10-6, and we missed out on the playoffs because the Cowboys were ahead of us. But there was teams in the wild card that didn't have more wins than us. But it's just sorry. There was another division that year. It might have been the.
I think it was Seattle.
It was the Seahawks that won 7-9 and 7-9 got it, and then won a playoff.
No, it wasn't. It might have been Carolina or something like that. Some team went 7 and something, but and we missed out. It's just bullshit, as Chuck said. Like we went 10-6, and
Shout out to the one Chiefs fan in the chat.
Why is there a Chiefs fan here?
Is that a
How did Chiefs fan? How did Chiefs fan?
They got Le'Veon Bell, bro. They got Le'Veon Bell.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, big deal.
What?
I don't see how we talk shit on any Chiefs fans right now. As far as I'm concerned, like
Le'Veon Bell. I mean, I feel like that takes that offense to another notch. Not that it needed to get to another notch.
That's what I was about to say. Is that like
my God,
Mahomes is far and away.
Back wasn't bad though.
What?
Their rookie running back wasn't bad though.
No, he's not bad. That's a good 1-2
Edward
punch,
Flair.
and then you add that to just their endless weapons that they have.
Talk about the screen game, like a real.
Next year, Damian Williams is back though.
Like Le'Veon Bell was talking about not getting those opportunities. Like, first of all, Adam Gase. What the fuck is up with Adam Gase? Like he's
trying to get fired. Looks like it.
You can tell a lot by looking at it like a. People look at you with their eyes. I can't trust that dude. You ever see the way Adam?
He's got bug eyes, man. He's got the bug eyes going.
And then he's popping out of that. He's smelling that. He gets high right before the
smelling
game.
salts.
Can't trust that dude.
He's a weird
smelling
dude.
Salts? Yeah, dude. Yo, did you ever do that? Did you ever do the smelling sauce?
No.
Anybody? Anybody ever do the smelling sauce before?
Yeah, it's woof.
Ooh.
My man.
Wake you right up.
It's like taking a shot at 151. You know what I mean?
It really is.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, there's not a lot of confidence in the draft picks.
Deshaun's out.
Yeah, but I feel like if
this is
we talked about this
perfect
earlier on the
opportunity.
show.
This is what it is in Philly.
We talked about this earlier on the show about riding this out. Like if you got this opportunity to win the NFC East, don't you win the NFC East?
Mm-hmm.
I see this as the last hurrah. After this year, the people are going to be out. So if Howie's playing for his job or his stake in the the front office, he has to do whatever it takes because this could be his last year. So any way you look at it, obviously we might feel a certain way. Obviously, me as a draft head, I want to get that high draft pick because it sounds great picking in the top 10 when you're trying to rebuild and go into a year where we're lacking the money. Like, getting it. But in reality, those people in the front office that are trying to save their jobs, they're going to do whatever it takes.
Right.
So, if they're going to be buyers,
good point.
And even the
what do you guys want to buy at though? What position do you right now as Eagle fans?
It says he's going to be now all of a sudden the linebacker is important to him.
Yep. Hasn't been his whole career in Philly, but it is now.
That's what the article says. He's buying. He's looking for a
wide
linebacker.
receiver.
Ooh.
Any
didn't
one of
he-
those
He's
positions.
so good at picking talent.
Who was it? Schwartz the other day? I think it was this week. Had a press conference and said like, "Hey, linebacker's always been a position that we focused on." And I'm like, "What are you smoking?" Like,
see,
I mean,
I mean, the Eagles actually, as if you look at all of the contracts that we have, we are paying the linebacker position. We're paying the least amount of money across the entire league, and you get what you pay for. If I'm being real,
4.3 million for the whole group.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not good.
If we go around the room, does anybody have any players in mind they would, if the Eagles are buyers?
Zach Cunningham.
Who do you got?
Zach Cunningham from the Texans. Young linebacker, can make the actual tackles that we need to make and actually cover somebody, unlike Nathan Gary. He can actually force incompletions. He can come up and stop the run. Zach Cunningham is the young linebacker that Philly should be looking at.
All right.
He's on the block.
I like that. Who next?
I brought someone up earlier. I brought up the proposed trade that was thrown out by ESPN, but I really like the idea of Hassan Reddick. Bring a Philly boy home. He's the Temple guy, solid linebacker. I wouldn't mind.
But you're
throwing him in the mix.
that means you're trading Zach Ertz.
No,
according to that,
I'm just talking about. You were asking me a name that I would like to have on this team. I'm saying Hassan Reddick.
Spencer,
but is that more like Philly nostalgia, or is that actual talent?
I think he's a talented linebacker. I mean, I don't. Anything would be a step up from what we have right now.
Yeah.
Jeremy, who you got?
Does he have another year on his contract, or is that the end of this year?
He should have one more year left. I think
No,
he
they
was
declined his
2017 draft. Yeah.
I like Hassan Reddick, but I just don't know if I'd give up Ertz. That's just something I'd rather Jax come back or Alshon come back, have a big game, and you just sell them really quickly. But that's like, it's not. I'm not high on it. Like, I know it's probably not the most logical thing that's going to happen, but I would hope that they could get something for it. I don't feel confident in our wide receiver much. Like I'm looking at, if we have everybody healthy, if we have Goodwin that actually would have played, if we have Rager, like what did that wide receiver core would look like? Because other than that, right now, I'm really pissed off that Alshon's collecting a damn check on the couch. So is Jax. It really pisses me off to hear that.
Look who we
Like,
have.
just think about it.
Look who joined the chat here.
Hey. What's up, Alex?
What's up? How are we doing today?
What's up?
Doing well. How are you?
Hey, I saw some stuff on the internet. Somebody was talking about some potential.
I'm going to be making crab cake sandwiches tomorrow on 4th and John, okay? Are you happy you know? Just don't tell anybody. Shit.
Cat's out of the
Don't tell anybody else.
Told him. I'm pretty upset someone leaked that, I'm surprised the structure didn't tweet about it or something like that, but yeah, here we are. Someone obviously released it. Now we're going to be making some crab cake sandwiches.
Hell yeah.
All right. It's like it's an hour away from game time. This is the part where this is the time of the day where we start getting hungry, trying to get our gotta get your plate right, gotta get your seat right, you gotta get your gear right, whatever you're wearing. This is the final prep right here. How long you been prepped? Oh. John, what you got?
Not so crab cakes. Made the mixture overnight, let that set up. Threw some. Can
you bring that close to the camera?
Oh, baby. So what do you got going on in there?
That basil?
No basil here. We got some parsley. We got some dill. Crab meat, obviously. We also had the terrible crab cake sandwich. We got some eggs, some Ritz crackers. That's the key. Ritz crackers, nice little buttery cracker. Better than
what?
Your,
not the Lance toast cheese?
No toasted cheese.
Right.
Nah, that was not okay. And then we have some Old Bay seasoning, shot of cayenne, some lemon, salt, pepper. Pretty simple, but yeah, like I said, I made this last night. Let it set up. And also one ingredient super important that you always have to add into food: love. Just gotta sprinkle some of that on there. So that is the actual crab cake itself. We got a nice little brioche bun. Smells good.
Very nice.
You guys take a little whiff. Smells awesome.
Delicious.
Nice heirloom tomato. Fancy. Some butter lettuce. Some lemon, and then there's a remoulade. Nice little spicy sauce right on top. Nice little condiment. So,
What kind of flavor would you say that remoulade is? I don't think I've ever had that. Is that like a mustardy type of?
yeah, so I do like a little mustardy, Cajun-y twist. I think it comes out really good that way.
Nice.
Yeah. Keeping it somewhat simple, but super delicious as always. So I'm just gonna add some butter to my pan. Let these guys heat up, get all nice crispy. And we'll go into the rest of it in a little couple minutes.
Once he said butter, I was like,
Oh, it's butter being used.
Put some butter on that motherfucker.
Over here, we're definitely using butter for sure. Yeah, butter on that. Yeah, it's a pretty simple sandwich. I wanted to do a little homage. We're trying to theme, what we make now, to who we play. So I feel like this is a good one. There are different options. I could have done different things, but I feel like this is just a classic one.
Absolutely. Daz Deals is feeling a little bit. He might be moving cross country. I think you're looking for a roommate because Daz is looking to have a friend chef like that.
Let's do it. Why not? I'm sure my girlfriend would appreciate having another roommate. I don't know why she would.
Let's not make it.
Right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
First of all, I know you can cook and talk at the same time. You can talk sports at the same time.
We could do that. Man, so one of my good buddies, Sam, he's a Baltimore Ravens fan, unfortunately, and he's just spitting truth, man. Like, Lamar's fast. We don't really have anyone to match him up. Vontae Maddox is out. We do have our young bulls. We were talking last night, Dale, about it for a second. Our offensive line, young. They have defensive holes right now that need to be filled. Hopefully, we could just fill up with our big boys. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm worried about their secondary and their linebackers. Like, I feel like one, we messed up when we didn't draft Queen. I just want to say that out loud. Two, they have a top 3 rated defense for a reason, So we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to contain Lamar.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be the issue at hand. Because Lamar just run wild, and especially if that guy in the middle, that I don't like very much, the white
Mark
snake,
Andrews?
like if he's
Nick Gary.
No, the other guy that I really don't
Yeah.
Gary's
That's Nathan.
I said it earlier. It's Nathan.
Nate's scary.
Nathan.
Nathan.
Oh,
Yeah.
so more approachable now for him. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
Nathan,
yes,
we
it's
should have
Nathan.
Nathaniel.
Yes, thank you.
We say Nathaniel.
Yes, we could.
Nathaniel. Look,
That might be worse.
growing.
Might be worse. I just I don't trust him. He needs to get out. If he's on him, like, he'll be 12 yards behind him, looking the opposite way. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. What's up, Jordan?
Dude, I wouldn't even try to babysit my kids. That's how much you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, kids have fun sometimes, Kids surprise you. So we could surprise some people. I don't know. I feel like I'm also talking out of my ass because I'm just talking as a biased Eagles fan, but we could surprise
alright,
people. We could surprise.
It's the perfect
people.
recipe for an upset today, brother. It's perfect.
See, that's the thing too. We're a 10-point underdog. The first time since the '90s at home. Like, we can't allow that to happen. You know, we can't let
to
that
be honest with you on that point, I can't believe how much this line is growing. Every time I look at the line, it just keeps going more and more in the wrong direction. Last night I was looking; it was at plus 293 for the money line. I think Sam said it's up to 380.
That's dropping. It's plus 335 right now.
Yeah, the
Is it
Eagles
what?
now are a 10-point underdogs to Baltimore. The last time Philadelphia was a 10-point underdog at home was 1999, Week 5 against Dallas. Philadelphia won that game 13-10, and Doug Peterson was the starting quarterback.
Jeez.
Wow.
Stranger things have happened.
Shout out to Tim McManus for that stuff.
And in the I believe in our career record with the Ravens.
And if the Ravens were smart, they would lose today because the last time they came to the link, they lost to us, and they went ahead and won the Super Bowl that year.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So there's a little something in there. Go ahead.
You bring up a good point. For sure, absolutely.
Yep.
Say, you got some fan club building. He said, "Alex, you looking good, bro."
Hey, thank you, Sam. That's that damn Baltimore fan right there. That's Sam.
That's not your brother?
Yeah, that's my brother right there. Yeah, but he brought, like I said earlier, he brought some points when I was talking to him. It's just like, do we trust our defense? Do we trust the play calling from Doug? Like, there's a lot of trust issues we have right now as Eagles fans, and I just feel like they need to be addressed one way or the other. Like Miles, you need to run the ball 20 times plus. I feel like that has to be a thing. So, like, you have to.
Whoa! What are you doing over there? You frying?
So we
You frying something?
I am putting some.
What do you mean? Are you referring to Paul's comment?
Just this guy. Not a big deal.
Gail?
No, I need to see that like close up.
I only need a closey. Hold on one second.
The phone dirty there.
Wait till it's golden brown.
Oh, baby.
Wait till it's golden brown, Gail.
Yep. We got egg in here. We got to wait till it's over 165 as well. Can't be getting no salmonella. That'd be bad.
Absolutely.
Yo, bro, do you eat a Pop-Tart without toasting it, or you eat it without toasting
You think
toasted
man,
Pop-Tart?
as well as he does, is eating Pop-Tarts? Are you eating Pop-Tarts? You Pop-Tart man?
I haven't had a Pop-Tart since I was probably in high school. And
Call me childish, bro.
No, Pop-Tarts. Put them in the toaster. Put them in the toaster.
Attaboy.
Oh, man.
And they need frosting.
But don't eat any Lance crackers. What?
What was that?
I said don't eat any Lance crackers though.
Fuck. All right.
Toast cheese.
Yeah, going back to it, I mean, I just get so upset every week because, like, have a potential running back that could be top 3 scrimmage yards, and you're just not using it. Like, that's so frustrating. We have a weapon, and you're just not using it. Like, why? Do you want to save his body? Like, I understand that, maybe 5 years for a running back fully. I get that, but we're going to waste away 5 years with him. We're not going to run the ball. Like, what's that shit,
Right. And it's not just like not running the ball too. I feel like there's been so many missed opportunities out in the flats, out with screens that have just been missed balls by Wentz as well. Like there's been a lot of.
I think that's also an issue.
I want to say it was the second week he had a wheel route coming out the back, and it was wide open, and Wentz overthrew him. That's like trust issue right there, Like we have a lot of trust issues as Eagle fans.
Talking about some of these key matchups. Carson Wentz. It's always
always. Which Carson Wentz are we going to get today?
Darius Slay versus the real Hollywood Brown.
Cease and desist.
Caleb Campbell. Oh no! Here we go.
Oh no! No!
Nathaniel. Travis Fogelman. It could be a perfect opportunity to show out.
We need to get him in an Eagles jersey.
You talk about if Travis balls out in this type of situation, 3 games in a row. That's calls for like man's gonna have his own statue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you give him J-Now's contract and cut J-Now.
what's that?
I said you give him J-Now's contract and you cut J-Now. Like, yo, you lost your respect.
Bye-bye.
I mean, Eagle fans are feeling a certain way after, like, because I feel like that's part of like Eagles culture, Eagles fans culture, like seeing players who ball out like this. Eagle fans will never forget this.
It was like Greg Ward last year. Like everybody was on the Greg Ward train whenever he showed out last year. It's the same thing.
But the other thing is now, like Greg Ward, after his performance last year, he's still been consistent. Like the players be expected when the expectations rise, and we expect you to do this consistently. Can you keep continuously doing this? So Fulgham comes out of nowhere, has a ball out game last week, and then follows up with another game. That's like that's
we've never really had a consistent wide receiver the last couple of years. It's always kind of been next man up mentality over the last few years. I mean, it really has. We haven't. I mean, I thought about it too. Like, should we go after another wide receiver with everybody hurt right now? Because I don't feel confident that Jackson's going to get on the field. If he does, like somebody had said in the chat, 3 plays and he's out again. Alshon, I don't feel confident about him coming back. I rather would have gone after like Jordan Matthews or somebody right now, like just to pick up another veteran wide receiver or even a veteran running back too, just to tag behind Sanders, even though they're not giving him the damn ball. Like what I was really hoping for in an ideal world, and I know this is a crazy situation, is Miami would have got Le'Veon Bell and they would have let go of Howard or try to trade Howard and get Howard back. I would have loved to see Howard back in the green.
It's a big contract.
Doug wouldn't run the ball anyway.
That's the thing. That's the thing I said.
Run that ball anyway. Yeah.
They don't run him enough though, unfortunately. But I want to see another veteran running back too, behind Sanders. I don't know. Clemens not getting the job done.
That's why honestly, when Devontae Freeman was out there, it was a name that definitely caught my eye for sure. Just having a 1-2 punch like that, Andy Reid, that's what he's looking to do right now. Edwards-Helaire, he's had a decent season so far, and then you throw Le'Veon Bell in the mix, like that's a high-powered offense, and you're just adding another tool to it.
Fantasy cancer,
it's nice to have options, man. Imagine having an offense where we had options, where any guy could pop off. We don't have to count on just a single wide receiver and a single running back each week.
At the end of the season, we will have some options back. Rager will be back.
Yeah, people don't realize, like,
you guys imagine if he comes out and gets 10 catches again today.
Oh, buddy.
No, I mean, then if you have Rager, Fulgham, and you start developing these other young wide receivers, you just replenish the group for a low cost here.
Now, isn't it great to not have that anxiety whenever number 13 is being targeted?
Yeah.
No shade, but like when he had the ball in his hand, it was great, but he was getting the ball in his hand. Now it's like, okay, if the ball's directed that way, you almost feel like it's pretty much a catch. And Trox said it perfectly. He catches with his hands, not his body. It's great to see.
Damn right, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see a wide receiver attack the ball.
Yeah.
Also, like Wentz, like he doesn't throw to the wide receiver. Like he throws like at the wide receiver. I don't know if that makes sense. Like he throws around the city. So we need those younger guys. We need the wide receivers in general to step up and like get in front of the ball, make the catch. I don't know. It's been sketchy.
And then like sure. to that point, like Zach Ertz not even where do you guys land on the whole first pick of last week's game? Do you place blame on Carson? Do you place blame on Ertz? Do you think he could have had an opportunity to go get the ball?
I place blame on the officials. That should have been a flag, I thought. But
after the 5-yard line.
Yeah, but what can you do? What happened, right?
Right.
But at the same time, Ertz shouldn't be getting.
I always look at this situation. The ball touches the receiver's hand. It's the receiver's fault. It doesn't go near him, then it's the quarterback's fault. So there's my opinion on that whole situation. Any situation when it comes to an interception.
Mm-hmm. Even after
Hey man,
Ertz-
did he was he able to catch it?
no, but he
Ooh,
quit running.
I hear sizzling.
Yeah, that sounded good.
Might
Yeah.
hear, you might hear
You got
those-
some bacon in there?
Bacon. Got
Yeah.
crab cakes.
Sound like but it sounded like some sizzling.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
baby.
good.
Oh man,
That looks great.
that shit look good.
I haven't had a crab cake sandwich in a little bit, man. That would hit these spots.
So hey Alex, you got to promise me when you come to Philly, we tailgate. You have to bless us with all three. You have to bring through all three dishes you've made so far.
How about this? I'll do you one better. I'll make them fresh so that they're not so gross from a year from now.
Oh yes.
No,
Hey,
of course, yeah,
that
whatever.
would be
Whatever it is.
fantastic.
Can you
Yeah, we'll have a
send
little we'll have a little appetizer of everything. How about that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if you send me that crab cake in the mail. Throw that John in like a.
Put it in an envelope.
Yeah, I'll just throw it in an envelope, stuff it in there real good, then you could do the rest.
Hey guys, I'm gonna head out. I appreciate you letting me join in again.
All right,
Been a
All
pleasure.
right.
Like,
Take it easy, man. Thanks for hopping on.
I'm gonna join him, but I'll probably be on in a bit. If I don't see you guys, go Eagles. Have a good one.
All right, Spence. Take it easy, man. Go
Hey,
Birds.
man.
So
Do you
where's Jeremy from?
What was that?
Where's Jeremy from?
Canada.
Canada.
Was it Canada?
Spencer's from Canada.
Yeah, no, Spencer's from Canada. Yeah, it was Brendan and Spencer from Canada.
Yeah.
I can't remember where he said he was from.
So I feel like when we started the season, I think we have a very agile line. Now I'm just thinking about this now. Like I feel like Doug is so hesitant to run the ball because like he doesn't have his guys in there. He doesn't have like the OG line. And he's just like, I just have to make sure that like Carson's protected at any cost. Hopefully, we just rip the ball out of there quickly. I just feel like he's so free in that aspect. That like he's just got too many practice squads in there to feel comfortable to run it. Unfortunately,
How you guys doing?
Doing well.
You feeling?
Yeah,
you feeling good about the birth today? I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling good, but listen to this. I got Travis Fulgham on my fantasy team because I feel like he's gonna have another blow up week. So I'm starting him in fantasy.
You're expecting you're expecting a good turnout versus Marlon Humphrey, huh? What kind of stat line you predicting at the end of the day?
Damn, that's who's gonna be covering him today.
Most likely,
I don't know.
he's their top corner.
Well, Marlon can play inside and out. So if they need to follow Travis, I just feel like if Travis feels a certain way, I think
he's definitely our quarterback of the future, no doubt. We're gonna have him next year, and he's gonna be great next year. But I don't know. I'm not feeling good about today. We're struggling this year, but we'll see.
You know who else is struggling? This man.
Who's that? Oh yeah, Nathan Gowdy.
Yeah.
I'm
Give it to him.
tired of him. Bang.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. He needs
Get the Fulgham out of here.
Gail, you downloaded that game just to be able to do that, didn't you?
Is that a game?
I don't know. That's why I
What
thought
is it?
when
What
you
is-
sent it to me, I thought you were.
I'm just all over the interwebs. I just find stuff. And I make
Gotcha.
You have to send me that.
One
link or
man's
whatever.
game is another man's meme. I got you.
I was
You need to
feeling
do.
it.
There's real
competitions. You seen those videos?
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, dog.
I'd like to see Nathaniel and Jaina do that by themselves, and whoever.
I
knocks the other one
just
out
still
can
wish
stay
we
on the team.
drafted DK Metcalf
For a roster spot?
Yeah, for a roster spot, why not? Let them fight it out, right?
Yeah.
That would be
straight up
amazing,
duel,
bro.
like
for
we're
a
at
roster spot
1700.
and it was slap competition.
Who do you think we could get for J. Jaw? Like if we were to trade, 'cause
Maybe
I
like
saw
a
you
bag
guys-
of Lace chips.
I saw you guys put out a thing that
Get a water, boy.
the Eagles are going to be trading during the trade deadline. So who do you think we could get? I think J. Jaw's got a trade.
Well, we were talking
For
about
what, bro?
earlier how there was an article out that apparently the Eagles would be buyers, not sellers, this trade deadline. That's what they were saying about Howie Roseman, what his take was going to be. I don't know.
Prime, how you feeling about that? You a buyer or seller if you're Howie Roseman?
Right now, I'm a buyer. I mean,
Oh,
what do we have to sell?
This guy. I mean, a lot of the Eagle fans all morning have been saying sell, and you're a buyer. So, I'm right now. If I'm Howie, like if I'm me, I'm in sell mode. I'm feeling like selling vibes if you lose 2 more games. But if I'm Howie, I'm buying because my job's on the line. So.
Gail, let me ask you a question, and everybody can chirp in on this. You think Howie's gone after this year? Because I hate him after what he did last year in the draft with not drafting DK. I'm ready for him to go. Everything that he's done, I'm tired of. Do you think he loses after this year?
I think he might retain his job in some, if he's dealing with the contracts. But if he gets his, if Jeffrey Lurie gets his football guy to take the reins and become the, final say, then I can see Howie coming back. But there's been made a lot of mention about like Howie Roseman and making some of these decisions about players on the field. That's a thing. Like GMs, they have control of the roster. They want to see their guys versus a coach. A coach might have their guys. The GM might have their guys. So it's a power struggle. Whoever has the most power in that organization, they're gonna look at their guy and like, I want to see him on the field. Like,
I got you.
Do you find that statement that's been going on all week that's true?
I think there's truth to that, but I think that if you go around the league, if you look at the power dynamic of certain teams, if the GM has all this like power, like if ain't like Bill Belichick who has all that power, he has all the say, but whoever has the most say in there gets to do whatever they want, and especially if Howie Roseman is in a situation where his job could be on the line, he's like, I need to. He's pulling all the cards now, but that source was confirmed by Chris Infante. His source said the same thing.
Well, let me bring up this point. Howie has a strength, and like there's consensus what Howie's strength is, right? What is that?
Contracts. Yeah, it would be crunching numbers.
Yeah.
And look what what's the salary cap look like next year?
Like hell.
Well, do you think that's this finally Howie's game caught up to him? Yes.
I think it's important to put things in context. If Howie's strength is salary cap, next year, we're over the cap. That's not the year to fire Howie. In context,
I would. Like,
that is a very good point, John.
I keep him around, but if
right,
you bring in a football guy with more final say.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And I hope James Schwartz goes soon too. And we need an OC because Doug Peterson can't do everything. Like, just this whole team is really messed up right now. It really bothers me. But
the thing about Doug Peterson, it's come on, man. Like you think about them going to Doug Peterson and say, "Look, we're gonna have to take your playbook, son." Like what is Doug Peterson without his play? The guy who called the Philly special on a fourth down in the Super Bowl. Guy, like you're gonna take. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying if you're thinking as Doug,
he didn't call.
No, listen, I love Doug. He's a great coach.
I know he okayed it. Super Bowl. Nick Foles was like Philly,
and it wasn't his play.
It was Press Taylor's.
Yeah. Press Taylor's play. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he called. He had the balls to pull it off. So
but your quarterback runs over, he gives you good ideas. Like, what are you gonna say? No.
No, what I'm saying is like
he didn't have an idea what to do.
If I'm Doug, they pulled the playbook out of my hand. What are you like on the team? Like I feel like I don't know what Doug Peterson would do without
Doug
playbook.
Peterson needs right. He needs a strong offensive coordinator who's going to run the ball.
Frank, nice.
I mean, I'm not. Doug's like he's having a bad year as a play caller. I don't think generally he's a bad play caller, but he needs a singular voice that says, you can't keep doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people's patience is wearing thin, man. It's easy. It's crazy how wide the door swings from, like, us praising Howie. We think he's amazing. And then all of a sudden how, it feels like a lot of people think he's on thin ice.
Well, no. Well, I'm not with you on that one. I think Howie's a decent GM.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about in the respect of having some of his responsibilities stripped away from him, which I think everybody's on the same page with, as far as him being in charge of personnel.
No, I don't think he's that bad at personnel. I think, for me, 53 players in the team, I think he does well in the later rounds. And you look at some of the later rounds, some of the undrafted players, they're playing well for other teams. Howie can't coach those guys up. So if you bring in some talent, and your assistant coaches aren't coaching those guys up, they go somewhere else and they flourish, like LJ Fort, and the rest of them. That's a good acquisition by Howie, but a bad talent development.
Yeah,
sure.
I think for last year, I think they got cocky and didn't draft for this year. They draft for the future, because it's one thing to go ahead and get hurt. But do you follow with a Davion Taylor? That's like giving a 2020-21 season like the pass. You got too cocky. If they have one of those selections in the early round, second or third, they could have got somebody on the field is going to help them now. I think we'd be in a better position. But people like everybody for a lot of Eagles fans. Listen, let me say this. I love the show. I love you guys. I love the opportunity, but I love you guys. I seriously though. But if you're really going to be like a good football analyst, you got to stop being a homer sometimes. So, like, these guys who have one like Eagles jersey, they're not all good. Some of them are trash, and trash is trash. The obvious is Nathan Gary, but like beyond that, you got rid of some of these guys.
Well, I mean, it's coming down the pipe. I mean, at the time, like next year is like the final. Like I feel like this is where they gotta. And when you're losing those kind of veterans that have had that presence in the locker room or on the field, this is where you got to make your money. Because if you I feel like you have Sweat right in development.
Yep.
Who's Flash?
He's Sweat because Brandon Graham is out of here. Not talent-wise.
I love Brandon Graham.
That's fine. I love Brandon Graham, but money-wise, he doesn't fit.
No, yeah. So now I'm saying is you feel good about having a guy like Sweat right now who's in development. He's Flash, so that you know that Brandon Graham's gone next year. So you're looking at who you got on the depth behind Sweat. Who else are you developing? Are you guys feeling a way about
the vet minimum?
How you guys feeling about losing Tuhill?
I don't think it's a significant loss, but at the same time, it's one of those developmental guys I think that could have. People were raving about him during camp. I wanted to see more out of him. I never really think he got a great opportunity. So I feel like he could potentially be just another one of those LJ Forts where we look back and be like, man, that was one of our guys. Another guy like Raheem Mostert on the other side of the ball, where it was a guy. Oh my gosh! Hold on a second.
Whoa. Uh-oh.
He already got the cross section.
Got some technical difficulties here. Hold on a second.
Need some more sauce in there. Looks like Gail made that sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
She's saucy already.
Wow, look at that.
That looks delicious. And what a way to bring in someone from Baltimore himself.
Damn.
Got him in Banks.
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
Doing well. How are you? You got the Old Bay on deck next to you. I love it.
Dude, people think when I do these radio things that it's there as like a prop. They think it's a prop. That's legitimately there because anytime I eat a meal, it's like right here, and it has to be right there because I'm throwing it at what I'm eating, no doubt, every time. Those crab cakes look delicious. I got to say, he gets it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
What's up, homie? How's the vibe in Baltimore, brother?
Pretty good. Trying to pick myself off the mat a little bit after a late one last night, but we're hanging in there. we're on the path to recovery.
So you look like you're Baltimore through and through there. You got the Terps, you got the Ravens hat, you got the Orioles hat. So you're from the area, I assume?
Yeah, I live in Federal Hill, which is about a mile from the stadium. So if I go up on my rooftop, I could see the stadium pretty clearly.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the problems we've been having in Philadelphia, we got this quarterback, right? We thought the world of him. He's been having a down year. He looked like he was regressing a little bit. But to be honest with you, I've heard some rumblings that Lamar Jackson is exactly the Lamar Jackson of last season. Do you guys have something similar going on in Baltimore?
Not to the degree you guys have.
For sure.
I mean, I tuned in maybe 20 minutes ago to start listening to you guys as I was kind of typing up some final stuff before the game. And I think you summed it up pretty well. It seems like it's Carson Wentz versus Carson Wentz. On our side, I don't know if the Ravens are trying to kind of mix up their game plans in order to work on some manufactured game situations that I mean, last year they just got ahead in games and they just ran it down people's throats, and that worked for finishing off games and closing them out. But if we just do the same thing where we just run the ball, and then find another situation like the Titans game last year where we have to do something different, if we're not doing things to prepare for that, then what are we doing? We're just going to make the same mistakes. So they're kind of trying to fit some square pegs into round holes by throwing on downs and situations where maybe they shouldn't be. But it's been a mix. It's been a mixed bag. Lamar on some of the throws downfield, he just looks like he's a little out of sync. It's been a little bit strange, but he's still able to do all those other things that are more than enough to beat some of these crummier teams that we've played the last few weeks. I'm hoping that he connects on some deep stuff today, but it's yet to be seen.
Now, there was that stat about Lamar being, he's 0-5 when the team gets down 10 points. Do you feel like that can happen today? I mean, this offense isn't high-powered by any means. So I think it's going to be a dogfight for this offense, really, against your aggressive defense.
Mm-hmm.
But is that a thing? Do you guys feel that way about Lamar when he's down?
A lot of people do. The sky is falling. People do. It's the kind of thing where we don't know if he can do it until he does it. So I think if we were to get down in that situation, we would kind of be very accepting and welcoming to that, because any opportunity for him to make that step and make that comeback for once, I think it would put a lot of minds at ease here in Baltimore. But then again, like, why would anybody want to be down by 10 points? If you look at the other side of the coin, he's been up by, at halftime in 23 out of 29 games or something. Like, that's a great problem to have. So any given thing can happen, and any given Sunday, the freakish plays can happen that can put you in a hole early, and who knows, that could happen today. We obviously have a lot of confidence against going up to Philly with you guys, and like you guys mentioned, the Vegas line has been moving all week further and further as your injury report has come out, and I don't know what people are betting, but Vegas seems to like the Ravens a lot in this game. But we have our ears perked up a little bit, or at least I do. I mean, like you said, Carson Wentz, he's somewhere in that guy is a very good quarterback that has played at an MVP caliber level. He could show up at any given time. So we kind of have our ears perked up, and it's a road game, and you guys have your passionate fans that'll be there today in smaller numbers. But
we're hoping that. Like, what's your thoughts on that as far as fans in the stands? Do you think that like any amount? Obviously, all we could have is 7,500 in there. Do you think that is going to influence the game in any way? I mean, the Eagles fans are notorious giving players a hard time.
Sure. I can't really say. It's unprecedented situations. I don't know if there's any numbers that have shown at any of the stadiums where there are fans or not fans, but I want to say they could still pipe in the noise despite there being fans. I think the Chiefs were doing that at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless, the 7,500 you guys have there, they'll be bringing it for sure. So bad respect to your city for doing what you guys do. It's just within the landscape of sports. Like, I have a lot of respect for Philadelphia because they really do have some of the most passionate fans out there, and they have the reputation that they do. But I love that there seems to be a side where you guys are unapologetic about it, and that's what I love the most. You guys are just Philly through and through. And Philly and Baltimore, I don't think are two dissimilar cities.
The fan bases seem similar.
Yeah, they're on the water, and a lot of the just kind of the structure,
grittiness.
attitude. Yeah, it's kind of blue
they're both blue collar cities. Yeah.
People, you feel like they don't
We'll
respect
punch you in the mouth and then buy you a beer afterwards,
Exactly. Down to earth. Like I grew up a little closer to DC when I was younger, and DC is the exact opposite. They're like very snobbish and
big time.
They're all about status. Whereas Baltimore, like you could go into a bar and you'll have a beer with anybody, and like nobody cares what job somebody does or who you are, whatever. We just want to have a good time and enjoy ourselves. So I see that in Philly.
Thanks.
Thanks. Good to see you, my man.
What's up?
So we talked about this at that Jimmy's golf outing. Are you worried that I asked you then? Were you worried that they were going to try and make Lamar a pocket quarterback? Now, looking at the games this year, it almost looks they're trying to, but not fully making him be a pocket quarterback. Are you scared that they're going to mess with his head by trying to do this to him, or you like what they're doing to him with that process?
I'm not really sure. The first 2 games of the year, he was really strong in the pocket, and I think some of the protection broke down, and he started to. I mean, late in that Kansas City game, I think the lasting memory that a lot of people have is on the last drive. They drove down the field. They were down 2 scorers, got into the red zone, and he got sacked on consecutive plays because he started panicking in the pocket where he would step up and run into his own offensive lineman's back and whatever. And he doesn't seem to have shaken that game that much in terms of feeling comfortable in the pocket. But we've seen him all last season. Like, he truly does keep his eyes downfield and throws like a good pocket passer. But he's like we kind of talked about before with Wentz, like he just has lost his way to a degree, just to I would say a smaller degree than Wentz. But I can't say that I've watched a ton of Eagles games other than that Niners one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I really think that the Eagles, like the only way that I see the Eagles winning this game is we have to create turnovers. I think if we could turn the ball over, get the ball on your guys' side of the field at some point and make it a little bit easier for us. Because as far as our offensive weapons, we're so limited. Carson, he has had, like you said, that regression year, but at the same time, there's also the fact that like Travis Fulgham all of a sudden. Who is a guy that no one knew who he was 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden he has become our number 1 wide receiver. So, and that offensive line, man, that shit is hurting. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, but
Jason Kelce's the only starter, man.
But what it's worth, they've been balling out for these are depth players who are now forced. I mean, that's our 3rd string left tackle in there. And Jordan Mailata, he's been a project, but over the last 2 games, he's played pretty well. But we were talking about some of the key matchups. Obviously, Carson Wentz versus himself because he gets in his head. It could be a certain thing. Darius Slay versus Hollywood Brown. This is the one with Jordan Mailata versus Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
That's it can be tough. That can be tough. And here's the biggest one. Nate Gary versus Mark Andrews, who's going to get murdered.
That matchup's already over.
So if obviously I know Marlon Humphrey, that's going to be a tough go for Travis. If he shows out, the thing I like about that is like you're going up one of the best today. If he
gets tested.
If you can flex today of all guys, then we have something. But
sure.
Calais Campbell, your feelings on Calais?
He hasn't made as big of an impact as I maybe thought he would, but he's still, with the blitz schemes that we like to dial up with Wink Martindale, he's been dropping into coverage a lot and kind of getting those long arms out there and blocking up passing lanes. And he's tipped a couple passes. I think week 1 he tipped one that Humphrey was able to pick off, but overall, he's a great player. He's 35, so you can't exactly put him out there for 3 downs, but he's been a positive for sure. They wanted to pair him with Derek Wolfe, and he's out this week, and he's been missing. I think he's missed 3 games now. So as a whole, and losing Brandon Williams is actually probably my biggest concern, because Miles Sanders is very capable, and if you guys get that lead and he can start gashing, that's one of the scenarios in which you could see things going downhill for us. But
what about is Matabupe getting his shot today?
Yeah, he missed the first 4 games, and he got a few snaps last week, and he looks really strong. I mean, he's a big fella. Came out of Texas A&M, and he's capable of big things, and we're kind of excited to see what he's capable of. The D-line was supposed to be one of the big strengths coming in. They kind of rebuilt that front seven for us over the offseason, and it's just been a little banged up, and we're excited to see what this young kid can do, because the idea was that Wolf and Campbell are veterans, and then we draft this young kid who's kind of a project, and see how we can kind of, transition into the future there. So
yeah. I want to get your opinion on something, Banks, because like in Philadelphia, the linebacker position is somewhat of a myth. I'm not so sure if we believe in it, if we know if it's entirely true or not. Yeah, we are paying for all of our linebackers combined. We're paying about $4 million this year, and you get what you pay for. Nate Gary has been complete trash. You guys ended up with one of our the guys that was on our practice squad before, LJ Fort. He seems like he's really turned out to be a decent player. I want to know what your thoughts are on him, on Patrick Queen. All guys that the Eagles have had on their radar or have been in the building, at least in the past.
Yeah, Fort has been, to a degree, a really stabilizing force ever since he came over mid last season. I mean, last season we had a Week 4 game against the Browns where Nick Chubb just shoved it up our asses. Like, guys playing out of position, all that stuff. And at that point, the Ravens kind of said, hey, we have to do something. And LJ Fort came in, and another fellow, Josh Bynes, who's since moved on to Cincinnati, came in, and they really made a huge difference. Regardless, they knew that they needed to add somebody, and Patrick Queen was that guy. We were so fortunate for him to fall where he did in the draft. Yeah. He's played 4 lights-out games and 1 brutal game. Andy Reid picked on him so hard on that Monday Night Football game. I think they really just confused him, and he looked lost out there. But the other 4 games, he's been flying to the football and making plays. And in the meantime, LJ Ford is kind of more of that stabilizing guy who is out there for more downs and was really dependable. I think PFF through 3 weeks or so had him as the highest rated inside linebacker in the league, which, we never really saw that coming. And he was, and I'm sure you guys didn't either, but
we certainly didn't. Yeah.
We got lucky on that
we
one,
did.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame, man. It's a shame when your team just completely disregards an entire position group. But that's how we end up in these 1-3-1 positions.
Sure, we're 15 minutes out to the game here, but before you get out of here, if we're gonna get your take on what are the keys to success for the Ravens today, and then we'll go around the room with the Eagles' keys to success today.
I think just because of so many things that we've discussed here, I think the keyest thing for the Ravens is just protect the football. Because like we said, the turnovers are kind of the opportunity for the Eagles to make a game of this. And if we just kind of play our game, run the football and don't put ourselves into trouble, I think that we'll just take care of business. On the other side, I think for you guys, it's the same thing as if Carson Wentz can keep track of where number 24 is in white, then he'll be in a much better position to make some plays and avoid those backbreaking mistakes he's made. Because Marcus Peters is the kind of guy who picks on a mistake-prone quarterback. So it's super cliche. I know it's not the most original thing to say, but it's all about protecting the football and just for us trying to stay mistake-free.
Well, I mean, that's a key point because Carson Wentz has been turning the ball over at a higher rate than he's ever had in the last 4 years. He seems to have at least one interception that will rear its ugly head at the worst time. Last week against Steelers, we feel like we could have got a call on that interception, but he got picked off. We're hoping a mistake-free football game would be awesome. If they're going to make mistakes, at least just not turn over the football. They could give us an opportunity to win.
Hey, so Banks, on a scale from 1 to 10, where are you at on this being a letdown day for the Baltimore Ravens?
It feels like they've played a little bit below their standard the last couple weeks against some crummy opponents. They didn't really blow out the Bengals as much as, or at least they didn't move the ball offensively as much as you would have liked to have seen. And you could probably say the same about the Redskins game. So I think that they're a little bit pissed off, despite those both being multiple score wins. I think that they have the bye week coming in front of them. They're trying to get to that finish line. They're trying to get a little bit healthier. And I think that they're going to be pretty focused in here just to kind of get to that bye at 5-1 and get ready for the Steelers the following week. So it's not that high, to be honest.
There you go. I'm in.
I know you would like to hear something different. I could very well be wrong, but
I just wanted to hear your voice. I didn't want to hear a number. Just hear your reaction and your voice on your say it with your chest. See what comes out right away.
Sure.
Without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
you guys, I think you guys take the NFC East. I'm not just blowing smoke because I'm on your show and all that stuff. I think you guys are playing tough.
We'll be the easiest piece of shit out there.
You kind of lost the connection there a little bit. What you said?
He's got sprint.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, you might fall 1-4-1 here, but with your division kind of being, you just got to hang in there and
with Dalton with Dak going down last week. That's what I was saying earlier in the show, is that really it's wide open.
How about the Redskins thinking that like they have to make that quarterback change because they got a real shot here? Like they think they have a shot. It's hilarious.
They're such a dumb. And to be honest with you, I really did. From the Redskins' perspective, I did like the idea of bringing Ron Rivera in there. I think that he got handed a shit plate. I mean, as far as controversies, the Washington football team, they freaking think about the entire offseason they had. It was just week after week there was a different controversy that was going on.
That was a home run hire for them. They couldn't have dreamed of getting a better coach because nobody wants to go there. It's a wasteland.
Exactly. It's like going to Cleveland. It's just where you go for your career today.
Check out Bucky's profile photo on Facebook. Interesting.
Oh my goodness, Bucky.
It's classy.
Jeez.
Jesus in the front, party in the back.
What a menace.
Right there.
Yeah, but as far as keys to victory for me, I'm kind of like just playing off of what Banks said, and I think turnovers are key. That's really the only way that we can make this a game. As far as like we've been talking about the past few weeks with Jim Schwartz, we've been wanting him to blitz. I'm not so sure about that this week. We got a fast quarterback in Lamar Jackson. That's a dude that can escape. And I would just watch out. We always get snuck on trickery, end arounds, shit like that. Watch out, motherfucker. Got to look out for Hollywood Brown. I know he's fast as hell, so watch him sweeping around the outside. Other than that, Carson Wentz has to play mistake-free football. You got to hold on to the ball, man.
You guys just unloading all the memes here at the end, like you just had a bunch saved up and we're just throwing them all in there.
It's what we do, man.
I'm a stud.
Gail machine.
I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone.
Yeah, my keys for success. I mean, I think you have to, attack Lamar Jackson, even though he's fast as all hell. Like I just feel like you have to pressure him into making mistakes. Play disciplined, sound football on the edges. I think Marquis, they're going to key on him. Andrews, I think Andrews is still going to get his no matter what. He's been bodying up defenders. Nate Gary is, if anything, he's the weak link, and I feel like he's going to get exposed again today.
Poor guy.
Or
Nathaniel.
Gary, or
wait, I actually have him with me right here. Here he is.
There you go.
He's late to the game.
But I really feel like
Big
Kyle
J
Sanders
now.
would definitely be a key to the game, getting the running game going. And if they can get up on the Ravens, that's where you win. That's definitely where you win.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see just how they react in such a scenario, just because we just haven't seen it enough.
Yeah.
And like I said, good problem to have. So I'm going to hop off here, boys.
Thanks for jumping on, Max. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Seriously,
Good luck,
thanks
man.
for having me. This is
Thanks for
fun.
coming on, man.
Giving us some great intel.
Good luck today, and good luck
Yeah,
the
man.
rest of the season, man.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Great intel on the Ravens right before the game. Definitely, it's good to hear, from a Ravens fan's point of view on what they see in their team. But going around the room, if we're going to follow up, John, what were your keys to victory today?
Real quick, I give you 3. Doug has to run the ball on first down. 2, Carson has to be Superman. Let me take that back. He has to stop staring down at the receivers. And 3, I think since we're the underdog, I would tell defense to step in front of some balls and try to go for some interception. Take some chances. Even if you don't get burnt on touchdown, you need to be aggressive in the secondary.
All right, Willie.
Carson has to protect the ball today. You can't keep turning it over because they're just giving the Ravens too many opportunities. It's going to come down to turnovers. I think if we're going to win this game, we need to get those turnovers today and not give turnovers ourselves and everything like that. So I'm hoping the front four puts a lot of pressure on Lamar.
Okay. Brian.
Big things today is just to contain Lamar. I mean, real quick, I'm just going to come out and say I've never been a Lamar Jackson fan. I feel like he's overrated. Yeah, he won the MVP last year, but he's just not that quarterback. He's not a Mike Vick, as many people try to compare him to. You contain him today, and that defense, maybe does some different things than what they've been doing for the past couple of weeks. We might have a chance, but that's just speaking hypothetically.
Alex.
I think we need to score first. I think we need to set the tone. If we don't set the tone, then it's just going to be an uphill battle. Obviously, we don't do that very well. I want to see the ball ran 20 times. I mean, I think that'll really free up everybody. We'll keep everybody on their toes on the defensive side for them, and then you could have that shot, for a 40-yard touchdown or whatever it is. So I want to see more running. Obviously, Doug, I'm talking to you. I want to see more running.
Hey, where's the sandwich?
Yep.
We need to get a shot. Hey, Evan, could you get a screenshot?
Yep.
Of it? We need to smile though.
There you go.
Money.
Vegas didn't have it.
Got it.
We gotta get your logo. Get the Eagles logo in there. Back up.
God damn, that looks good, dude.
It does look so
I'm
good.
excited to eat it. I feel, like I say every week, I feel bad that you guys aren't here right now, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're gonna enjoy that.
That looks good. Did everyone get their keys to Trox? Did you give your keys to success?
I'll just repeat what we talked about earlier. Win the time of possession today. Get the ball first. Score first. And then let the cards roll wherever they go. Because you know what? When it comes down to it, you still got to win you still got to play 4 quarters. We haven't played 4 quarters yet this season. So they're my keys. Ball possession, score first, play 4 quarters. And you know what? Let's throw this in there. I hope we see an ex-Redskins quarterback behind the ball today from the Baltimore Ravens. RG3, brother.
RG3.
RG3 enters the game. That is a key for victory today. That means we knocked Lamar out of the game, brother. That is my keys to victory today.
RG3 is still seeing ghosts from that his first game with the Browns when we put him on his ass.
Yeah.
How about that? How about that?
So no Gary's going to knock him out,
Fletch, maybe.
I'm kind of upset that I can't taste the crab cakes.
Are we doing scores? Are we doing scores today?
Score prediction?
No scores.
We doing score predictions?
No score predictions.
Hey, we'll let that go. Let's
I
just
just
do
think
over under, right?
no, but like in reality, like Banks was talking about, like even if we do like they catch the L here, like I still feel like the focus is winning the East, and but my focus is really just looking at some of this young talent. Like I'm really just excited to see what Travis Fulgham brings to the table. I'm excited to see Mailata versus Calais Campbell. That's like a seasoned veteran. Like if you could,
It might be the
hold your
tallest
own.
matchup in the history of the NFL.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you could survive that, like
And just on Mailata
I want to see
as
Carson.
well.
I want to see if he continues to progress after regressing the last, prior in the beginning of the season. So I mean, if we can see some positives, I'd like to see that.
Hey, I'm with John on that one, man. I mean, this kid could be the secret weapon that we've been waiting for. It's been happening for every other team in the NFL. Now it's our time to actually get somebody to come in here and shine the way this kid is doing. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it's
our turn. Damn it!
It is our turn. It is our turn, man.
We got kickoff in 5 minutes.
So before we get out, we'll go around the room. Last words, Trox.
Doug, don't get cute today, dude. You got a hot running back? Use them. Do not put them in the shelf. Use them and use them all day and day. Work the ball, work the clock, keep the Ravens off the field. And you know what? We might get lucky. And that's all I got to say about that. Go Birds.
Willie, last words, all the way from down
Damn,
under.
I can't top what he just said. Yeah, we've got to get the turnovers, man. So front four, especially you, Fletch, you got to fucking sack the shit out of Lamar today and knock him out, as Trump said. So, yeah. So we need to get this W. So go Birds. And by the way, just before I go, I do sell Pop-Tarts here. I had a look. I do sell them. So
nice. Go invest. I'm telling you, frosting only though. Frosting only. None of that non-frosting BS.
Let's go to Prime. Last words.
I mean, just pity packing off of what Trox said, man. For real, Doug. If you got a game plan and it's working, don't try to fix something that's not broken. Stick with it, and everybody just go out there and do their thing.
John.
Yeah, I don't know what the precautions the cheerleaders would be there in the crowd, but I like to see Nathan Gary support the cheerleaders take the place and do some cheerleading on the sideline. And let Sean Bradley get a few shots for first down. And Nathan Gary, sit him third down, every third down.
Juggernaut, last words.
Run the ball. I don't know. Simple. Trop said before. We just stick to the game plan, run that ball. I think we'll be okay. Get one touchdown, right off the bat. I think we'll be in a good place, but I don't know. Baltimore defense, a little scary.
I'm starving after watching Alex's crab cakes. They look delicious. Are we gonna eat the W today?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do that.
No. I think we just got to roll off what Banks said. Like, if I'm being completely real, I don't want to go in with bad vibes into the game. I'm just not feeling confident. That's what it is. But I'm feeling confident about the long run, feeling confident about the division. And I don't think this will be the game regardless. That'll be the one that sinks us this year. So let's just power through, put our heads down and power through.
I'm sitting here. Last words. I'm like fixing my fantasy lineup because I got 2 minutes. Last word. I mean, Doug. Keep it basic. Like, basic. Being a basic bitch isn't what anyone transpires to be, but I mean aspires to be. But I feel like getting this offense moving, running the football, just getting Carson Wentz. Whether if we hit him with the quick strike, with the hurry up, let Wentz get his rhythm. Like if you get that rhythm, I think offensively you got to take advantage of their aggressiveness on defense. I think defensively, be aggressive. Theorist Jim Schwartz, blitz that motherfucker. Like you cannot let Lamar be comfortable in the pocket. He's going to run around, but I want you to make him make mistakes. I think that's where you win. Obviously, we got to get up on the Ravens. Like I said, he's 0-5 when you get up on him by, 10 points or more. So
Yep.
we want Lamar Jackson to be passing the ball, not running the ball and grinding the clock out. Defensive line, this is where you make your money, dude. This is where you make your money. Get after the quarterback, get this team a W. We're at home. And as always, man, we just want to thank you guys for coming out and supporting the chat, supporting 4th of John, and being part of the show. 3 hours and 30 minutes, and we appreciate every second of you guys that are here in the chat and supporting the group. But as always, we'll see you guys in the next one, and we will have a post-game show. Kickoff is in 1 minute, but we will see you guys soon. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.